Phoenix Nights. Chapter 2096. Lin Feng had the urge to roar at the sky when he felt his strength exploding. This feeling was simply too exhilarating. Lin Feng swung his right fist and smashed it toward the ninth evil dragon's head. Bang! The fist smashed into the ninth evil dragon's head once again. Crack! 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 The ninth evil dragon's skull began to crack. The power of Lin Feng's right arm. It was simply too terrifying. Ah! The ninth evil dragon screamed in pain. His eyes had turned blood red. Boundless rage was accumulating in his chest. The ninth evil dragon. A 10th heavenly layer giant god. A lofty figure. Lin Feng was just an ant in his eyes, yet he was severely injured by this ant. This was even more unbearable than killing the ninth evil dragon. The ninth evil dragon roared again and again. He roared again and again. He kept struggling, trying to break free from the chains that wrapped around his body. Crack! Crack! The chains were cracking. However, the mysterious being that was imprisoned was doing its best to repair the cracked chains. Lin Feng, who had sacrificed 5 million years of his lifespan, had greatly increased the power of his right arm. He would not give the ninth evil dragon any chance to break free. "I'll smash you until your peach blossoms bloom!" Lin Feng roared. Bang! Bang! Punch after punch. Every punch was incomparably violent. Crack! 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 The ninth evil dragon's skull was cracking more and more. The ninth evil dragon suffered an unprecedented heavy blow. Break! Lin Feng roared. He punched out again. Bang! The punch once again landed on the ninth evil dragon's skull. Crack! Crack! The ninth evil dragon's skull shattered. As the skull shattered, blood and brain matter flowed out. It was extremely bloody. The ninth evil dragon's struggling body became weaker and weaker. The attack just now. To the ninth evil dragon. It was a fatal blow. The ninth evil dragon suffered unprecedented damage. Die! Shouted Lin Feng coldly. He then threw another punch at him. Bang! Half of the ninth evil dragon's head exploded. The ninth evil dragon's body twitched violently. Then, it fell to the ground and stopped moving. Is it dead? Lin Feng half knelt on the ground and panted heavily. One must know that activating the Dracophant arm consumed a lot of energy. Moreover, he had sacrificed 5 million years of his lifespan. Therefore, at that moment, Lin Feng felt extremely exhausted. He wanted to lie down on the ground and sleep. However, Lin Feng knew that the battle on Dragon Gate Island was very intense. He needed to rush back and take charge of the situation. Go back early. This way, the Dragon Gate cultivator army would have fewer casualties. This corpse is mine, the mysterious being in the deep-sea devil's cave said. Sure. I'll take its head, Lin Feng said. No problem, that mysterious creature said. Lin Feng took out his black dragon sword and wanted to cut off the ninth evil dragon's head. But at that moment, a grayish-brown light flew out. Then, it drilled into Lin Feng's mind. Little bastard, how dare you trick me? You've caused me so much trouble. I'm going to eat your soul and take over your body. The grayish-brown light entered Lin Feng's mind and turned into the ninth evil dragon's appearance. It was the ninth evil dragon's soul. The ninth evil dragon's methods were very shocking. When Lin Feng thought that he had blasted open the ninth evil dragon's head, even the dragon's soul was scattered. But unexpectedly, the ninth evil dragon's soul was intact. Moreover, it launched a counterattack against Lin Feng. The soul of a 10th layer giant god was much stronger than Lin Feng's soul. Lin Feng's soul sensed the ninth evil dragon's soul and quickly hid in the primal chaos ancient lamp. Come out! The ninth evil dragon's soul clawed at Lin Feng's primal chaos ancient lamp. Bang bang bang, one attack after another landed on the primal chaos ancient lamp. But Lin Feng's primal chaos ancient lamp was too powerful. No matter how powerful the ninth evil dragon's soul attacks were, they could not break through the primal chaos ancient lamp's defenses. Seeing that the primal chaos ancient lamp could block the ninth evil dragon's attacks, Lin Feng could not help but sigh in relief. He began to use Lu Ye's stargazing chart to deal with the ninth evil dragon's soul. Buzz. A divine diagram condensed in Lin Feng's mind. It was Lu Ye's stargazing chart. Lu Ye's stargazing chart quickly suppressed the ninth evil dragon's soul. Break! The ninth evil dragon's soul roared coldly and clawed at Lu Ye's stargazing chart. Lu Ye's stargazing chart was indeed powerful enough to block the ninth evil dragon's soul attacks. Heavenly fire, come quickly! Lin Feng's soul began to summon the heavenly fire. The soul was of the yin attribute. The heavenly fire was of the yang attribute. Yin and yang countered each other. The four heavenly fires entered Lin Feng's mind and enveloped the ninth evil dragon's soul. Then they began to burn the ninth evil dragon's soul. Ah! Heavenly fire! 4 heavenly fires! How can you refine so many heavenly fires? The ninth evil dragon's soul roared in disbelief. Heavenly fire was precious. When the world was first created, only 72 clusters of heavenly fire had been formed. They had been passed down until now. They had searched the heavens. They might not even be able to find the heavenly fire. And yet, Lin Feng had refined 4 heavenly fires. It was inconceivable. Die! Lin Feng sneered again and again. The primal chaos ancient lamp also charged toward the ninth evil dragon's soul. Lu Ye's stargazing chart. 4 heavenly fires. Primal chaos ancient lamp. The 3 of them attacked simultaneously. They surrounded and attacked the ninth evil dragon's soul. The ninth evil dragon's soul was very powerful. However, the ninth evil dragon's physical body was already dead. A soul without a physical body was like a rootless duckweed. Its power weakened very quickly. Moreover, Lin Feng's attacks were extremely ferocious. The 4 heavenly fires were the nemesis of souls. Therefore, the 2 sides fought for a while. The ninth evil dragon's soul could no longer hold on. Pfft! Lu Ye used the star chart to seize the opportunity and directly tore the ninth evil dragon's soul apart. Little bastard! Little bastard! I never thought that I would die at your hands in the end. I can't accept this. However, this emperor's 8 brothers will definitely avenge this emperor. This emperor will be waiting for you to accompany him in hell. The ninth evil dragon's soul roared with hatred. Bang! The next moment, the primal chaos ancient lamp charged over and shattered the ninth evil dragon's soul. The ninth evil dragon, a peerless powerhouse who had dominated the sea region for millions of years, had fallen just like that. Ha ha ha, the ninth evil dragon's soul energy is too powerful. It's a great supplement for me. Devour, devour, devour! Lin Feng roared. He began to devour the ninth evil dragon's soul energy. The ninth evil dragon's soul energy was continuously devoured by Lin Feng. Lin Feng's soul energy began to rise rapidly. Chapter 2097. Lin Feng's soul power was originally at the 5th firmament of the celestial god realm. After devouring the ninth evil dragon's soul power, Lin Feng's soul power began to soar. 6th firmament of the celestial god realm. 7th firmament of the celestial god realm. 8th firmament of the celestial god realm. 9th firmament of the celestial god realm. 10th firmament of the celestial god realm. As expected of the soul power of a 10th firmament giant god realm expert. It was truly too powerful. It actually allowed Lin Feng's soul power to rise so much. Moreover, the rise did not stop. Soon, Lin Feng's soul power had risen to the peak of the celestial god realm. Next, his soul began to break through to the giant god realm. In the purple palace of his soul, powerful energy began to circulate, transforming into the purest soul power. It began to break through to the giant god realm. It was a major leap for soul power to rise from the celestial god realm to the giant god realm. Once this barrier was broken through, the soul would enter a whole new level. Again and again, the impact came. He had no idea how many times he had tried. Finally, Lin Feng's soul power had completely transformed. from the peak of the celestial god realm to the first firmament of the giant god realm. Lin Feng was pleasantly surprised. After killing the 9th evil dragon, his soul had broken through to the first firmament of the giant god realm. The harvest was simply too great. After his soul had broken through to the giant god realm, Lin Feng immediately felt that breaking through to the giant god realm was tens of times more difficult than when he was in the celestial god realm. Lin Feng had already mentally prepared himself for this. The giant god realm was an extremely special realm. This was because the giant god realm was a preparation for becoming an emperor. Therefore, for experts at this level, whether it was breaking through to the giant god realm or breaking through to the giant god realm, it would be extremely difficult for them. Lin Feng recollected his thoughts and cut off the 9th evil dragon's head. Whoosh! 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 At this moment, a powerful devouring power surged out of the deep-sea devil cave. The powerful devouring power directly devoured the 9th evil dragon's corpse. The sea region in front of the Dragon Gate Island was an unprecedentedly tragic battle. Both sides fought fiercely, and there were people dying tragically in this chaotic battle every moment. Corpses were everywhere in the ocean. The seawater had long been dyed red with blood. "Look, Lin Feng is back!" Suddenly, a cultivator shouted. Everyone looked into the distance and saw that Lin Feng had returned. "Why is he carrying a small mountain back?" Many people were puzzled. When Lin Feng flew over from afar, many people's faces turned pale with fright. That is head. The 9th evil dragon's head. Oh my god, Lin Feng killed the 9th evil dragon. Many people were astonished. Countless spectating cultivators roared hysterically. They simply could not believe what they were seeing. The 9th evil dragon is dead. 9th evil dragon palace's cultivator army, all who surrendered, exempt from the death penalty. Anyone who resists shall be killed without mercy. Lin Feng carried the mountain-sized 9th evil dragon's head and flew to the sea region where the battle was taking place. His shout was like thunder, attracting everyone's attention. The cultivator armies of both sides looked at Lin Feng. When they saw the 9th evil dragon's head, the cultivator armies of the Dragon Gate and oceanic species cheered loudly. Their morale soared. As for the cultivator army of the 9th evil dragon palace, their expressions changed drastically. Even the 9th evil dragon had been killed. The cultivator army of the 9th evil dragon palace had a mental breakdown. Their morale had dropped. Lord Father was killed? How is this possible? How is this possible? Long Xingxiu roared in disbelief. His face was as pale as a sheet. Your Highness, leave quickly, said an evil dragon expert beside Long Xingxiu. They had no idea what was going on with Lin Feng. Moreover, the 9th evil dragon had been killed. The cultivator army of the 9th evil dragon palace had lost their morale. The only thing they could do was to retreat. Leave, said Long Xingxiu. The cultivator army of the 9th evil dragon palace began to retreat. Those who don't surrender will be killed without mercy, shouted Lin Feng. Kill all these sons of bitches. Sun Jian cursed loudly. The cultivator armies of the Dragon Gate, oceanic species, and deep-sea beasts unleashed their most ferocious attacks on the cultivator army of the 9th evil dragon palace. The cultivator army of the 9th evil dragon palace, whose morale had dropped, could not resist at all. Pooh! 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 More and more people were killed. More and more corpses appeared. We are willing to surrender. Don't kill us. We surrender. Many cultivator army of the 9th evil dragon palace put away their weapons and raised their hands in surrender. Seeing some people surrender, more and more cultivator army of the 9th evil dragon palace chose to surrender. The 9th evil dragon palace is finished. Many cultivators who were watching the battle began to discuss. The elite army of the 9th evil dragon palace had been transferred over. Now, the 9th evil dragon had fallen. The cultivator army of the 9th evil dragon palace began to surrender. The 9th evil dragon palace was truly dead. The battles between the major forces were often this cruel. The fall or destruction of a powerful faction. It could happen at any time. The cultivator army of the Dragon Gate, the oceanic species, and the deep-sea beast chased after the cultivator army of the ninth evil dragon palace that did not choose to ambush. In the end, only 1,000 people escorted Long Xingxiu out. This battle. It ended here. The cultivator army of the ninth evil dragon palace had lost 6 million people. Most of them were killed in the process of escaping. Another 4 million people chose to surrender. The cultivator army of the Dragon Gate had lost 700,000 people. The oceanic species army had lost many people in the previous battle. So before the battle, there were only about 40,000 people left. After the battle, there were only about 30,000 people left. The deep-sea beasts army also lost 300,000 deep-sea beasts. In this battle, the casualties of the Dragon Gate, the oceanic species, and the deep-sea beasts army were also extremely heavy. But in the end, they had won the battle. The cultivators who survived all roared excitedly, venting the depression in their hearts. Lin Feng walked over, step by step. He looked coldly at the 2,400,000 cultivators of the ninth evil dragon palace and said, "Since you've chosen to surrender, I can spare your lives. If you perform well in the future, you'll also receive important things. Now, swear your loyalty to me." The cultivator army of the ninth evil dragon palace knelt down. "We are willing to swear a blood oath. From now on, we are willing to recognize Lin Feng as our master. In the future, we will be loyal and devoted, without any disloyalty. If we break this oath, our souls will be shattered and we will die a horrible death." The cultivator army of the ninth evil dragon palace swore together. In an instant, Lin Feng formed an oath contract with these people. The life and death of the cultivator army of the ninth evil dragon palace was in his hands. The heavens are about to change. A true king is about to appear in the ancient desolate sea domain. Countless cultivators stood outside and watched as the cultivator army of the ninth evil dragon palace knelt before Lin Feng and swore an oath. They were deeply shocked. Chapter 2098. On Myriad Star Island, the Myriad Star restaurant was bustling with people. "Have you heard? The ninth evil dragon led an army to attack the dragon sect, but it was killed by the dragon sect's leader." I heard. It's said that the dragon sect's leader, Lin Feng, is 30 meters tall and looks like a human. His eyes are like copper bells, and he can kill a divine beast with a single punch. He's so terrifying that even the ninth evil dragon was killed by him. It can't be, right? I've heard that Lin Feng has been practicing cultivation for millions of years. His cultivation level is unfathomable and unfathomable. He fought against the ninth evil dragon for hundreds of times, and then he killed it with great difficulty. Why did I hear that Lin Feng is a young cultivator who has only cultivated for slightly more than 30 years? Damn, brother, how can you believe such nonsense? The diners in Myriad Star restaurant discussed animatedly as they ate. Lin Feng naturally became the focus of everyone's discussion. The key to the dragon sect's victory in this battle was Lin Feng's killing of the ninth evil dragon. Therefore, the news about Lin Feng spread like wildfire. There were all kinds of rumors. However, many of the rumors were so ridiculous that they could not be taken seriously. Myriad Star Island was not the only place discussing Lin Feng. Countless cultivators from various places, such as the southern Immortal Sea region, the ancient Desolate Sea region, and the Bottomless Sea region, were also discussing Lin Feng and the clash between the two great forces. Myriad Flower Restaurant, where the cultivators of the ancient Desolate Sea region gathered, was also bustling with people. The cultivators who could afford to dine here were naturally people with status. In a room on the 5th floor of Myriad Flower Restaurant. "Young miss, Lin Feng is too terrifying. If you enter the path of heartlessness with him, it won't be easy for you to sever your path in the future. Young miss, please reconsider," the beautiful woman advised. She naturally knew about the conflict between the dragon sect and the ninth evil dragon palace. She had thought that the dragon sect would be destroyed by the ninth evil dragon palace. Lin Feng would be killed. However, They had never expected that Lin Feng would be the one to kill the ninth evil dragon, and that the Dragon Gate would destroy the ninth evil dragon palace. This matter had greatly moved and shocked the beautiful woman. However, she couldn't feel happy because the holy maiden of the 10,000 flower house, Miao Ke, wanted to use Lin Feng to enter the emotionless Tao. In order to enter the emotionless Tao, one must first truly fall in love. After falling in love, she forcefully cut off the relationship. Only then would he be able to peek into the path of ruthlessness. But now, the beautiful woman was worried. What if the person she was looking for really entered the heartless Tao as Lin Feng? When the time comes, she would probably be deeply attracted to that man. He was unable to extricate himself. At that time, he would most likely end up in a situation where his divine arts would be reversed and his body and Tao would disappear. If only the results were better. Perhaps she would completely lose herself and willingly become Lin Feng's concubine. As Miao Ke's follower, the beautiful woman naturally did not wish for such a situation to occur. Miao Ke's beautiful eyes wandered as she said in a faint voice, "I'm afraid it's already too late. I miss him every moment now. I want to see him and accompany him by his side. I have to dress up properly before meeting him." Miao Ke sat in front of the dressing table like a little girl and began to dress herself up. Seeing this scene, the beautiful woman's face turned ugly. She knew that Miao Ke had already fallen in love with Lin Feng. Now, the beautiful woman only hoped that Miao Ke would be able to cut off her relationship with Lin Feng in the future and not fall in love with him. On the top floor of the Myriad Star Islands auction house, Yu Lianwei and that ice-cold beauty were sipping tea together. This woman was called Tang Lan'er. Like Yu Lianwei, she was a senior in her family and held a high position in the all-knowing pavilion. The two of them had come out to train and had come to Myriad Star Islands. They held important positions in both the all-knowing pavilion and the auction house. "Lan'er, what do you think of Lin Feng?" Yu Lianwei asked with a smile. Tang Lan'er said coldly, "This person is more complicated than I imagined." "Yeah. I'm getting more and more curious about him," Yu Lianwei said with a smile. Lin Feng's handsome face couldn't help but appear in her mind. When a woman is interested in a man, it usually means that she will gradually lose herself, Tang Lan'er said. Yu Lianwei smiled charmingly. "You don't understand. When you meet such an interesting man, you naturally have to interact with him more. If you're really like a moth flying into a flame, as long as you can have a vigorous process, no matter what the result is, you won't have any regrets. There are many times in life that you need to change and not stay the same. I prefer this kind of life," Tang Lan'er said. "That's because you haven't met someone who can make your heart beat faster. When you meet him, you'll know what it means to be a moth flying into a flame," Yu Lianwei said with a smile. She then stood up and walked outside. "Where are you going?" Tang Lan'er asked. "I'm going to see my darling. I don't know if my darling is injured. I'm so worried," Yu Lianwei said with a charming smile. Tang Lan'er also stood up and followed Yu Lianwei outside. Yu Lianwei asked in astonishment, "Where are you going?" Tang Lan'er said, "I'm following you and watching over you." "I don't want you to lose your head and lose yourself." Yu Lianwei rolled her eyes and said, "You're looking down on me too much." Space-time reversal sea region. Within the Red Dust Immortal sect, the Red World Fairy stood on top of a cliff, looking at the sea of clouds in the distance. The Red World Fairy wasn't wearing women's clothes. Instead, she was wearing men's clothes. She looked very delicate. Old Mother Phoenix and Patriarch Tianlong stood behind the Red World Fairy. Old Mother Phoenix said, "This Lin Feng's ability isn't small. Even the ninth evil dragon has fallen into his hands." Patriarch Tianlong said, "An immortal sovereign's tribulation taker is indeed not a simple person." Old Mother Phoenix and Patriarch Tianlong fell silent for a moment. Old Mother Phoenix said, "Immortal sovereign, how do you plan to overcome the worldly love tribulation?" The Red World Fairy looked at the worldly love thread wrapped around her wrist and remained silent. Patriarch Tianlong said, "Although the love tribulation isn't the most powerful tribulation, it's the most complicated one. Since ancient times, the word love has turned many people into infatuated men and resentful women. They couldn't walk out of it, and eventually fell into depravity, burying their great future," said Old Mother Phoenix, nodding. "Celestial Master, forgive me for being talkative, but Lin Feng is not bound to you yet. You should kill him. That's the best way to pass the culpa test. In the future you'll be bound to him more and more, and he'll become a demon in your heart." The Red World Fairy looked at the sea of clouds in the distance and said faintly, "I saw a trace of his fate. He's actually..." Chapter 2099. Roar! A loud dragon roar resounded through the clouds. A huge evil dragon flew over from afar. This was the sea region where the first evil dragon palace was located. The first evil dragon was the backbone of the 9 great evil dragons. He was also the most powerful evil dragon among them. It was said that the first evil dragon had broken through to the Boundary Emperor realm 2 million years ago. Such a long time. Now, he had no idea how powerful the first evil dragon was. The evil dragon that flew over from afar was the 8th evil dragon. After receiving news of the 9th evil dragon's death, the 8th evil dragon quickly rushed over to the first evil dragon. He entered the depths of the sea region. In the depths of the sea region, there were many palaces. There was a main palace that was 1,000 meters tall and hundreds of acres wide. The 8th evil dragon flew into the main palace. When he arrived, there were already 7 evil dragons gathered inside. "I'm late. Brothers, please forgive me," the 8th evil dragon said apologetically. "Your territory is the furthest away. It's normal for you to be late." "8th brother, don't mind," the 2nd evil dragon said. At this moment, the first evil dragon opened his eyes. It was as if there were 2 ancient worlds floating in his eyes. "Go burn some incense for the 9 emperors," the first evil dragon said. Whoosh! With a flash of light, the first evil dragon's huge body turned into a middle-aged man. The other 7 evil dragons also turned into their human forms. They followed behind the first evil dragon and walked into the depths of the palace. There was a room in the depths of the palace. There were many memorial tablets here. These memorial tablets belonged to the ancestors of the evil dragon tribe. The 9th evil dragon's memorial tablet was also placed here. The first evil dragon stood at the front. The other 7 evil dragons stood in a row behind the first evil dragon. The first evil dragon said in a sorrowful voice, "9th brother, back then, our evil dragon tribe was declining day by day. For the sake of reviving the evil dragon tribe, the 9 of us went to many dangerous places in search of opportunities to increase the power of our bloodline. How many times did we go through dangerous situations together? Which time did we not manage to escape from danger? But this time, you fell at the hands of that human brat. Don't worry, your blood won't be shed in vain. I will definitely bring that human brat's head here as an offering to your soul in heaven, 9th brother." After saying that, the first evil dragon picked up an incense stick from the table and lit it. The other 7 evil dragons also stepped forward and each took an incense stick. After lighting it, they returned to their respective positions. Under the lead of the first evil dragon, they began to worship the 9th evil dragon. After paying their respects, they left the room. They came to a living room not far away. The first evil dragon said, "9th brother's death is too strange. No one saw that human kid kill 9th brother, but he did bring back 9th brother's head. What do you mean, big brother?" The 7 evil dragons looked at the first evil dragon in confusion. The first evil dragon said, "There are 3 possibilities. The first possibility is that the kid has an extremely powerful magic treasure. The second possibility is that he has a super expert behind him. The third possibility is that he used some kind of scheme to kill my 9th brother. Big brother, which possibility do you favor?" the 8th evil dragon asked. "That's hard to say." The first evil dragon frowned slightly and said, "What was his motive for luring my 9th brother away? He didn't want to expose his hidden trump cards?" the second evil dragon asked. "Perhaps that's the case. The first evil dragon narrowed its eyes. The dragon gate must be destroyed. Otherwise, where will the face of our evil dragon race be? Big brother! I'm willing to go, the eighth evil dragon said anxiously. The eighth evil dragon was an impatient person. If there was something he wanted to say, he would say it. It's too dangerous for you to go alone, the first evil dragon said. I'll go with eighth brother, the fifth evil dragon said. All right. The two of you can take care of each other. The first evil dragon nodded. That little bastard Lin Feng's cultivation is limited. It doesn't matter if he has an expert behind him, or if he has a powerful magic treasure, or if he used some kind of scheme to kill my ninth brother. This time, we won't give him another chance, the eighth evil dragon said coldly. All right. Go back and gather your troops. Once we've gathered, we'll set off together. I'll wait here for your good news, the first evil dragon said. Big brother! We're going! The fifth evil dragon and eighth evil dragon cupped their fists. Then, they transformed into huge evil dragons. They quickly flew out of the palace. They returned to their own territories to gather their armies. After destroying the ninth evil dragon palace, Lin Feng sent people to take over the ninth evil dragon palace's territories, as well as the resources and ores controlled by the ninth evil dragon palace. The treasures in the ninth evil dragon palace's treasury were transported to the Dragon Gate Island. On this particular day, two hearty laughter came from outside the Dragon Gate Island. Wen Xiren! Zhuge Qinyi! We've come to pay our respects to Sect Master Lin. The two spoke at the same time. Their voices echoed. Everyone on the Dragon Gate Island was alarmed. Who are these two old men? How dare they make such a ruckus outside the Dragon Gate Island? A cultivator said coldly. Shh! Don't speak nonsense. These two are extraordinary people from 3 million years ago. They've already broken through to the giant god realm. One of them is a top-notch spirit array master, while the other is a top-notch alchemist. A cultivator reminded. So powerful. The cultivators who were dissatisfied with Wen Xiren and Zhuge Qinyi felt a lingering fear. Luckily, they didn't rush out to teach these two a lesson. Otherwise, they would have died miserably. Haha, the two seniors are here. Apologies for not going out to welcome you. Lin Feng laughed and flew out to personally welcome Wen Xiren and Zhuge Qinyi. Sect Master Lin is too polite. The two cupped their fists. Then, Lin Feng brought the two into the Dragon Gate Island. In the main hall, the three of them sat down. Then, a maid served them spiritual tea. Zhuge Qinyi said, as the saying goes, a gentleman keeps his word. Since we made a gentleman's agreement back then, we won't go back on our words. This time, we're here to join Sect Master Lin. Lin Feng said with a smile. The two seniors are true to their words. This junior admires you. Sect Master, please don't call yourself a junior. This is too much for the two of us. Wen Xiren said. Wen Xiren didn't flaunt his seniority. He knew who was the leader of the Dragon Gate. He also showed enough respect to Lin Feng. Lin Feng smiled and said, All right then. From now on, I'll call the two of you fellow Taoists. Zhuge Qinyi and Wen Xiren nodded. Chapter 2100. Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. May I know what fellow Taoist is talking about? Zhuge Qinyi said. I've heard that the other 8 evil dragons have gathered together to discuss how to deal with the Dragon Gate. They've decided to have the 5th and 8th evil dragons act to eliminate the Dragon Gate. Lin Feng said. I haven't heard about that, but I've long since guessed that the other 8 evil dragons would leave the matter at that. During this time, I've been setting up a grand formation, hoping to borrow the might of the formation to kill the invading evil dragons. Oh? May I know what kind of powerful formation you're setting up, Sect Master? Wen Xiren couldn't help but ask. Wen Xiren was also a formation expert, and he was familiar with many formations. He also knew that Lin Feng was a formation expert, so he couldn't help but be curious as to what kind of formation Lin Feng was setting up. Lin Feng said, The Immortal Extermination Formation. When Xiren was shocked. The third-ranked formation of the immemorial era. Lin Feng nodded. Yes, that's the formation. A formation like that requires some top-notch treasures to suppress the formation's core. Only then can the formations might be unleashed. I wonder if Sect Master has already prepared those top-notch treasures? If not, I'm afraid that the Immortal Extermination formation won't be able to unleash its might. At that time, we won't be able to kill the 5th and 8th evil dragons. When Xiren said. Lin Feng said. I've already prepared them. However, setting up a formation like the Immortal Extermination formation isn't easy. Fellow Taoist Wen, you've come at the right time. You can help me set up the Immortal Extermination formation. When Xiren said. I don't think that setting up the Immortal Extermination formation alone is enough. If we want to kill the other 2 evil dragons, we'll need to set up another formation. I can also provide a formation that can be used together with the Immortal Extermination formation. Its might will be even greater. May I know what kind of formation it is? Lin Feng asked curiously. The Profound Pincushion formation. When Xiren said. Lin Feng was shocked. The Profound Pincushion formation was the second-ranked formation of the immemorial era. It was ranked even higher than the Immortal Extermination formation. If this formation could be set up successfully, it could be used together with the Immortal Extermination Grand Formation. Its power was simply too terrifying. Lin Feng said. All right. This formation perfectly complements the Immortal Slaying Grand Array. However, the 2 of you have come from afar and must be tired. Take a rest today and discuss the matter of setting up the formation tomorrow. That's fine too. When Xiren and Zhuge Qinyi nodded, Lin Feng turned to Zhuge Qinyi and said, Taoist Zhuge, I've collected a lot of the 9th evil dragon's blood essence. The 9th evil dragon is a 10th layer giant god, so its essence blood is abnormally powerful. I wonder if fellow Taoist Zhuge can use its essence blood to refine a treasure like the heavenly god elixir. When the time comes, you can use it to awaken the slumbering artifact spirits of a few supreme treasures. When Xiren said, That's not a problem. I can start refining it tomorrow. Lin Feng nodded and said, All right, please follow me, fellow Taoists. I'll take you to your residences. Thank you, Sect Master. When Xiren and Zhuge Qinyi clasped their fists towards Lin Feng. There's no need to be so polite, Lin Feng said with a smile. The 3 of them chatted and laughed as they walked towards their residences. After arranging the residences for Wen Xiren and Zhuge Qinyi, Lin Feng chatted with them for a while before leaving. Not long after, someone came to visit Lin Feng. They were none other than Yu Lianwei and Tang Lan'er. I wonder what brings Fairy Yu to my place. Your presence brings light to the dragon sect's humble dwelling, Lin Feng said with a smile. Yu Lianwei giggled and asked, Then are you welcoming me or not? Lin Feng smiled and said, Of course I'm welcoming Fairy Yu. It's been a while since we parted at the Myriad Immortals Island. During this time, I've been thinking about Fairy Yu. Yu Lianwei smiled and said, Lin Gongzi is actually thinking about the news of the Soul Master Dao sect and Dugia. Lin Feng smiled and said, Of course I'm thinking about Fairy Yu. His gaze then turned towards Tang Lan'er, who was standing beside Yu Lianwei, and said with a smile, Fairy Yu, how should I address this Fairy Yu? Yu Lianwei said, This is my good sister, Tang Lan'er. Like me, Lan'er is also training at the Myriad Star Islands. So it's Fairy Lan'er. Nice to meet you. Lin Feng clasped his fists. Tang Lan'er looked at Lin Feng with a cold expression and nodded slightly. He nodded at Lin Feng as a form of greeting. Lin Gongzi, please don't blame Lan'er for her lack of etiquette. She has always been like this. She doesn't like to interact with outsiders and rarely interacts with strangers. Yu Lianwei said. Why would I blame Fairy Lan'er? Lin Feng smiled. At that moment, Wan Enyang came to the guest hall and said, Master, someone is here to see you. Who is it? Lin Feng asked. He couldn't help but mutter to himself. Why were there so many people gathered here today to see him? Wasn't this too much of a coincidence? Master, it's me. At that moment, a pleasant voice rang out. Following that, a beautiful woman walked in. This woman was none other than Miao Ke. Me? Since when did the famous holy maiden of the Myriad Flower Hall call herself a me in front of a man? Isn't it a little too obvious that she's trying to throw herself at him? After seeing Miao Ke, Yu Lianwei couldn't help but mock her. Clearly, Yu Lianwei recognized Miao Ke. Furthermore, the two of them didn't seem to get along. Why did the eldest daughter of the Yu clan come here as well? It seems that Miss Yu still doesn't know about the relationship between Lin Gongzi and me. Miao Ke came to Lin Feng's side and snuggled up to Lin Feng like a little bird. She looked at Yu Lianwei provocatively. What? Are you trying to say that you and Lin Gongzi are lovers? Yu Lianwei sneered and also came to Lin Feng's side, hugging Lin Feng's arm. Yu Lianwei, what do you mean? Are you in such a hurry to throw yourself at Lin Gongzi? I've never seen a woman in such a hurry to throw herself at a man like you. Miao Ke mocked. Lin Feng hadn't expected that Miao Ke, who usually looked so gentle and charming, would have such a side to her. She actually had such an unknown side to her. Quarreling seemed to be a woman's instinct. Lin Feng couldn't help but think. Miao Ke sneered. I'm the one who's throwing herself at him. Lin Gongzi and I are lovers. The two women looked like they wouldn't give up until a victor was decided. Lin Feng felt a headache coming on. I heard that a guest has arrived. May I know who it is? At that moment, a chuckle came from outside. Princess Shirley and Naza walked in. Lin Feng couldn't help but smile bitterly when he saw them. Yu Lianwei and Miao Ke were already in a heated argument. Chapter 2101. When they saw Princess Shirley and Naza enter the hall, Yu Lianwei and Miao Ke immediately stopped arguing. The two of them looked at Princess Shirley with hostility. The two of them were well informed, so they naturally knew that Princess Shirley and Lin Feng had an unusual relationship. Now, Princess Shirley was their greatest enemy. Sometimes, a war between women would come quickly. Sometimes, it would be very easy to calm down. Sometimes, enemies could become allies in the blink of an eye, just like Yu Lianwei and Miao Ke. Lin Feng didn't want the women to continue arguing, so he quickly smiled and said, Ladies, let me introduce you. This is Princess Shirley of the Deep Xiao Kingdom, and this is Naza of the Mermaid Clan. This is the Saintess of the Myriad Flower Pavilion, Miao Ke. These are the two vice presidents of the Myriad Star Island Auction House, Yu Lianwei and Tang Lan'er. Lin Feng's enthusiastic introduction didn't make the women particularly enthusiastic. Everyone just nodded their heads, nobly. As the saying goes, 3 women make a play, but there were 5 women gathered here. They should be able to put on a show with ups and downs, right? Lin Feng felt that he should leave now. If he continued to stay here, who knew what terrible things would happen? He said, You're about the same age, so you must have a lot to talk about. I still have some things to take care of, so you can stay here and chat. I'll go take care of my business first, and then I'll come back to accompany you. Go, I'll entertain them while. Princess Shirley said with a smile, acting like the hostess of the house. Yu Lianwei and Miao Ke couldn't help but feel a deep sense of jealousy. In the evening, Lin Feng hosted a banquet for Wen Xiren and Zhuge Qinyi. The women also attended in splendid attire. It was breathtaking. The next day, Lin Feng and Wen Xiren worked together to make arrangements, while Zhuge Qinyi refined the giant god elixir with the 9th evil dragon's blood essence. The giant god elixir was similar to the heavenly god elixir. However, the effect was better. If they used the giant god elixir to activate various treasures, they would be able to awaken more power from those treasures. The array that Lin Feng set up had the Dragon Gate Island as the center, enveloping an area with a radius of 50 kilometers. Immortal Slaying Grand Array, Xian Pin Grand Array. When these 2 great arrays were stacked together, their power would be unimaginably strong. Furthermore, Lin Feng also fused Emperor runes into the 2 great arrays. After incorporating the Emperor runes into the formation, the power of the formation would become even stronger. Other than that, Lin Feng placed the 9 Devils diagram, the Reincarnation Devil Palace, the 4 great swords from the revered Sword Tomb, the Heaven Swallowing Jar, the Sage Emperor Stone, and other treasures in the core of the formation. In addition, a giant divine weapon or a celestial divine weapon would be placed in every ordinary formation eye to guard the formation eye. There were a total of 3,725 such formation cores. 2 types of top-notch killing arrays, coupled with so many top-notch true treasures. Once such a formation was activated, it would be very difficult to control. It was simply devastating. Of course, activating such a powerful formation would consume a huge amount of origin crystals. A formation like this would consume 10 million origin crystals per minute. It was simply not something that an ordinary force could afford. However, to Lin Feng, this bit of consumption was nothing. After setting up the great array, Lin Feng could finally heave a sigh of relief. Seeing Yu Lianwei, Miao Ke stayed at his place and refused to leave. Lin Feng found the 2 of them and said, "Fairies, the enmity between the dragon sect and the evil dragon palace is getting deeper and deeper. I'm afraid that the evil dragon palace will not let this matter rest, and will soon attack the dragon sect again. For the safety of the 2 fairies, I ask that the 2 fairies leave the dragon sect first." Miao Ke smiled and said, "Especially at this time, this concubine naturally has to stay by young master's side. If there is any danger, this concubine is willing to face it with young master." Yu Lianwei was not to be outdone and said, "Lianwei is also willing to stay by young master's side and tide through this crisis with young master. If young master does not abandon me, Lianwei will definitely follow you in life and death." Hearing the 2 of them talk, one after another, Lin Feng did not enjoy the happiness of having 2 people. He only felt a headache coming on. Actually, he hoped that Yu Lianwei and Miao Ke could leave in time. There was no need for them to get involved in this mess. However, Yu Lianwei and Miao Ke clearly did not plan to leave. As for Tang Lan'er, she followed Yu Lianwei to watch her. If Yu Lianwei did not leave, she naturally would not leave either. Lin Feng said, "All right. If you want to stay, then stay on the Dragon Sect's island for the time being." In the afternoon, Sun Jian rushed back from the 9th Evil Dragon Palace. He said, "Sir, we've discovered an extremely mysterious cage in the 9th Evil Dragon Palace. A mysterious person is imprisoned in that cage. We can't open the chains that lock the mysterious person up, so we've specially come to invite Sir to take a look." "Oh? There is such a thing?" Lin Feng was slightly shocked. A prisoner that could be specially treated by the 9th Evil Dragon Palace was naturally no small matter. Lin Feng did not hesitate and headed to the 9th Evil Dragon Palace with Sun Jian. In a cage, they saw the mysterious person that Sun Jian had mentioned. That mysterious person's body was pierced by 9 chains made of mystic Emperor Scarlet Devil iron. His aura was weak and listless. When he heard footsteps, he raised his head and looked at Lin Feng, who was at the front. "Purple Chi from the east, a sign of good fortune. It seems that this old man will be able to escape today," the old man said. "Senior, how should I address you?" Lin Feng cupped his fists and asked. "Ji Wu," the old man said. Hearing that this old man's surname was Ji, he suddenly thought of the Ji clan of the Tianwu continent. The Ji clan's origins were extraordinary. Their ancestor was Princess Gua. GFA had evolved the Xiantian 8 trigrams into the Hotian 64 trigrams. This was a historical breakthrough. Back when Lin Feng had entered the land of death, he had met the Ji clan's little princess, Ji Yuhan. However, he had never seen her again. He wondered how that slender and elegant girl was doing now. Lin Feng collected his thoughts and asked, "May I know if Senior is a descendant of the civil and martial saint, Princess Gua?" Princess Gua was known as the civil and martial saint by others. It was said that it was in recognition of his outstanding contributions. In the past, Princess Gua was an existence that everyone looked up to. Rumor had it that Princess Gua had used the 8 trigrams to prove her Tao and become an emperor. Later, she had evolved the innate 8 trigrams into the postnatal 64 trigrams. Thus, she had broken her shackles. She had become a true immortal. Of course, Lin Feng did not know whether these rumors were true or not. After all, it was too long ago. Chapter 2102. Lin Feng was surprised by Ji Wu's words. He and Ji Wu were connected by fate because of Ji Yuhan. He couldn't help but ask, "Senior, do you know the Ji family of the Tianwu continent?" The reason why Lin Feng asked that question was because some of the top clans had many branches. He didn't know if Ji Wu was from the Ji family of the Tianwu continent. Ji Wu said, "I'm from the Ji family of the Tianwu continent." Lin Feng said, "I'm also from the Tianwu continent." Ji Wu said meaningfully, "Your ancestor isn't from the Tianwu continent. In fact, he's not even from the 9 prefectures." Lin Feng's expression didn't change. He asked, "Senior, do you know something about it?" Ji Wu said, "There are some things that shouldn't be said. Everything has its own destiny. If you speak too much, you'll be punished by the heavens." Lin Feng nodded. He naturally understood this principle. This was especially true for people who were proficient in the 8 trigrams divination technique. They could divine some secrets. These secrets were the so-called heavenly secrets. As the saying went, the heavenly secrets couldn't be divulged, or one would suffer retribution. How did the civil and martial saint GFA die? It was said that his divination technique was too powerful, and he divulged too many heavenly secrets. In the end, he suffered a calamity. That was how he died. Lin Feng said, "I'll help you break free first." "Thank you, Sect Master Lin," Ji Wu said. Lin Feng didn't find it strange that Ji Wu knew his identity. The mystic Emperor Scarlet Devil iron that pierced through Ji Wu's body was covered in evil dragon runes. Therefore, it was very difficult to break the chains. Furthermore, one couldn't use brute force to break the chains. This was because it would activate the evil dragon runes. Once the evil dragon runes were activated, Ji Wu would probably die. But Lin Feng was an expert in deployment spells, so he managed to break the evil dragon marks and the chains made of the great Emperor's scarlet demon iron. He managed to save the old man. Ji Wu had been trapped for many years, so his blood wasn't flowing smoothly and his body was weak. Lin Feng fed Ji Wu a pill to replenish his qi. Then, he circulated his magic power and opened some of Ji Wu's blocked meridians. Ji Wu's complexion improved a lot. "Thank you, Sect Master Lin." Ji Wu expressed his gratitude. "Senior is too kind." Lin Feng smiled. Wu returned to the Dragon's Gate Island and rested Dragon's Island. Rest. Lin Feng wanted Ji Wu to help him find information about the Dao sect and Dugiya. Wu said. Ji Wu explained to Lin Feng what he knew about the Taoist sect. His divination method was also to use a turtle shell. Wu's obviously. The Li's of S. Wu's divination was. There was of course of the Wu SSS. If Tes Wu Tes. In the end, he would suffer a backlash. Moreover, if one were to suffer a backlash, the outcome would be quite tragic. The 7 stars shift, the heavenly stars fall, and the immortal treasure is about to appear. Wait for the right time, Ji Wu said. Lin Feng said, "Senior, do you mean that the inheritance of the Dao sect is about to appear?" "The inheritance of the Dao sect is nothing. The real thing is this immortal treasure," Ji Wu said. "Immortal treasure? Is it an immortal artifact?" Lin Feng asked. If it was an immortal artifact, then it would be terrifying. Even in the 9 states, there weren't many forces with immortal artifacts. The birth of any immortal artifact would cause a storm of blood and gore. Ji Wu said, "Immortal treasures aren't necessarily immortal artifacts, but they must be extraordinary. It seems that there will be a big change in the 9 states." Lin Feng nodded. Then, Ji Wu helped Lin Feng divine Dugiya's location. 7 turtle shells were scattered on the ground, forming a strange pattern. Like dragons and tigers. The roars of dragons and tigers. Dragons are trapped in water, tigers are trapped in mountains. It seems that the person you're looking for is trapped somewhere, Ji Wu said. Lin Feng suddenly remembered the information he got from Yu Lianwei. 20 years ago, a heaven-shaking steel appeared in the southern Immortal Sea domain, and countless experts went to fight for it. Dugiya also went to the southern Immortal Sea domain to fight for the heaven-shaking steel. Those who went to fight for the heaven-shaking steel disappeared without a trace. Could it be related to this matter? Lin Feng told Ji Wu everything he got from Yu Lianwei. Ji Wu said, "If it's as you said, then it's possible that he's trapped somewhere in the southern immortal sea domain. Let me divine it again." Ji Wu put the 7 turtle shells into the jade tube. Then, he shook it again. While shaking the jade tube. While chanting an incantation. As the incantation fell, the 7 turtle shells were thrown out again. Crack! Crack! However, before Ji Wu could check them, the 7 tortoise shells cracked. "What's going on?" Lin Feng could not help but frown. Ji Wu said, "Something terrifying is blocking the heavenly secret." Lin Feng felt a little regretful. At the same time, the 5th and 8th evil dragons had gathered their armies. The 5th evil dragon had gathered 5 million troops. The 8th evil dragon had also gathered 5 million troops. Both sides had gathered 10 million troops and rushed to the Dragon Gate Island. 2 evil dragons. 10 million troops. Such a huge force was too terrifying. Rumble! Rumble! The ancient warships quickly sailed toward the Dragon Gate Island. Naturally, such a huge army couldn't hide from the eyes of the world. Countless people were alarmed. The current situation in the ancient desolate sea domain had attracted the attention of countless people, not just the forces in the surrounding sea domains. Even the forces inland were paying attention to the ancient desolate sea domain. Half a month later, the army arrived. Roar! Roar! A loud dragon roar resounded through the sky. The 5th and 8th evil dragons flew over from afar. Their terrifying dragon aura spread for 3,000 miles. Countless cultivators who were watching the battle in the periphery felt the powerful dragon aura from the 2 evil dragons. They felt like they were suffocating. This time, the evil dragon palace has sent out 2 evil dragons and 10 million cultivators. It seems like they're determined to fight the Dragon Gate to the bitter end. The 9th evil dragon has died in battle. At that time, the Dragon Gate and the evil dragon palace will have no room for negotiation. They'll definitely fight to the bitter end. No matter how powerful Lin Feng is, he won't be able to deal with 2 evil dragons. Especially the 5th evil dragon. It's said that it has 1 foot in the Boundary Emperor realm. Apart from those Boundary Emperors, no one can defeat a powerful existence like the 5th evil dragon. No matter how many treasures Lin Feng has, he won't be able to fight against it. I'm afraid the Dragon Gate Island is facing a disaster this time. Chapter 2103. Rumble! Huge ancient ships were arranged in rows in an orderly manner. An army of more than 10 million cultivators looked majestic. The gigantic bodies of the 2 evil dragons spiraled in the air like 2 immortal gods as they looked down at the Dragon Gate Island below them. However, the Dragon Gate Island was very quiet. No one appeared. What's going on? Where are the people on the Dragon Gate Island? Isn't Lin Feng very powerful? Why is he hiding like a turtle now? Some people started muttering. This time, it's 2 evil dragons who have personally come. They even have an army of more than 10 million cultivators. If it were me, I would definitely hide like a turtle, someone immediately said. The cultivators watched the situation nervously. Lin Feng, you brat! Come out and accept your death! The 8th evil dragon shouted coldly. His voice was like thunder. It shook the surroundings. Which scoundrel is shouting outside? Tell me your name. The Dragon Gate doesn't kill nameless pawns. Sun Jian's voice rang out. Damn, aren't the Dragon Gate's people too arrogant? They actually called the 8th evil dragon a nameless pawn. More importantly, that person isn't Lin Feng. The 8th evil dragon is here to challenge the Dragon Gate Island. Lin Feng didn't even show up. Isn't he looking down on the 8th evil dragon? Yeah, he only sent a subordinate to deal with the 8th evil dragon. This will definitely anger the 8th evil dragon. Many cultivators started muttering softly. As expected, the 8th evil dragon was truly infuriated. He said coldly, Lin Feng, you brat, you actually sent an ant to talk to me? How dare you humiliate me like this? When I capture you later, I'll torture you and make you die a miserable death. Attack the island! The eighth evil dragon gave the order to attack the island. Fire! Boom! 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 Countless ancient ships fired spirit stone cannons at the Dragon Gate Island. However, the spirit stone cannons were all blocked by the Dragon Gate Island's restrictions. Formation breaking dragon beam! The fifth evil dragon shouted coldly. The ancient ships of war immediately activated the formation breaking dragon light and began to attack the restriction on the Dragon Gate Island. But now, the restrictions on Dragon Gate Island were extremely powerful. No matter how the other party attacked, they were unable to break the Dragon Gate Island's restriction. In the end, even the fifth and eighth evil dragons joined the fray. Evil dragon claws! Bang 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 bang. A loud explosion shook the heavens and the earth. The fifth and eighth evil dragons bombarded the restrictions of the Dragon Gate Island one after another. During this period of time, Lin Feng and Wen Xiren hadn't just joined forces to set up the Immortal Extermination Grand Formation and Dark Lily Grand Formation. The two of them even worked together to reinforce Dragon Gate Island. Therefore, the current Dragon Gate Island's defense was extremely strong. It wouldn't be a problem to hold on for 4 to 5 days. Lin Feng did not choose to send out troops. He also did not choose to activate the Grand Formation to trap and kill the fifth and eighth evil dragons. This was because he wanted to exhaust the fifth and eighth evil dragons first. The fifth and eighth evil dragons worked together with the battleships to attack the restrictions on the Dragon Gate Island. This continued for several days. The consumption must be very serious. The two evil dragons' battle prowess was bound to plummet as they continued to be depleted. At that time, he would activate the Immortal Extermination Grand Formation and the Xian Pin Grand Formation. The chances of killing the fifth and eighth evil dragons would greatly increase. This time, Lin Feng chose to deal with the fifth and eighth evil dragons. Instead of luring the fifth and eighth evil dragons to the deep sea devil cave. This was not without reason. First, the fact that he had killed the ninth evil dragon would definitely arouse the other 8 evil dragons' suspicions. Therefore, the chances of luring the fifth and eighth evil dragons to the deep sea devil cave were not very high. Second, if the ninth evil dragon could discover the strangeness of the deep sea devil cave, the more powerful fifth and eighth evil dragons would definitely be able to discover it as well. Moreover, Lin Feng and the mysterious being trapped in the deep sea devil cave had already found it very difficult to kill the ninth evil dragon. It was almost impossible to kill the fifth and eighth evil dragons. Unless the fifth and eighth evil dragons entered the deep sea devil cave. Perhaps the being trapped in the deep sea devil cave had a way to kill the fifth and eighth evil dragons. However, the fifth and eighth evil dragons would not rashly enter the deep sea devil cave. Therefore, the best way to deal with the fifth and eighth evil dragons was to set up a top-grade killing formation to trap and kill them. The fifth and eighth evil dragons continuously attacked the Dragon Gate Island's restrictions. The warships cooperated with them and attacked. No matter how they attacked, the interior of the Dragon Gate Island remained silent. There was no movement at all. These great formations can't stop the fifth and eighth evil dragons. The Dragon Gate Island has been holed up all this time. What are they trying to do? Are they really willing to wait for death? Some cultivators questioned. At this moment, someone else said, "Do you guys think that there might be some kind of space-time teleportation array inside the Dragon Gate Island? They're holed up inside because they're moving. Perhaps when the fifth and eighth evil dragons break through the Dragon Gate Island's restrictions, they'll find that the island is already empty." That's really possible. Many people agreed with this theory. At that moment, even the fifth and eighth evil dragons had the same thought. Therefore, their expressions were extremely gloomy. The attacks grew fiercer and fiercer. 4 days later. Crack! 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 The Dragon Gate Island's restrictions began to shatter. Obviously, it would not take long. The Dragon Gate Island's protective restrictions would be broken soon. At that moment, Lin Feng's voice suddenly came from the interior of the Dragon Gate Island. "Fifth and eighth evil dragons! Are you guys in such a hurry to die? Since you want to die, I can fulfill your wish." It's Lin Feng's voice. Could it be that the Dragon Gate cultivator army hasn't retreated? This guy is still as arrogant as ever. This time, he's facing 2 evil dragons and an army of tens of millions of cultivators. Many cultivators who were watching the battle outside could not help but exclaim. They did not know where Lin Feng's confidence came from, but he was still so arrogant. Everyone felt that it was somewhat inconceivable. "Cultivators who are watching the battle outside, please retreat 100 miles away from the Dragon Gate Island. If you don't retreat, don't blame me for not warning you when the battle starts and your lives are at stake," Lin Feng shouted in a deep voice. Hearing Lin Feng's words, the cultivators who were watching the battle outside could not help but change their expressions slightly. Naturally, they would not joke about their lives and quickly left. "Activate the Great Formation!" Lin Feng looked at Wen Xiren, who was beside him. Wen Xiren nodded. He began to work together with Lin Feng to activate the Great Formation. It was not easy to activate such a huge formation. The mountain of origin crystals provided the energy for the Great Formation to operate. An hour later, loud rumbling sounds could be heard. Buzz, with the Dragon Gate as the center, the formation runes within 100 miles were intertwined. The densely packed formation runes sealed the heavens and the earth. The 5th and 8th evil dragons and the tens of millions of cultivators from the evil dragon palace were all trapped in the Great Formation. Chapter 2104. Look, the formation has been activated. Is he trying to use the formation to trap and kill the 5th and 8th evil dragons and their army of cultivators? A normal formation wouldn't be able to do something like that, right? Lin Feng is a formation grandmaster. He should know some powerful formations. It's a pity that we won't be able to see the battle inside. Countless cultivators felt that it was a pity. Formation? The 5th and 8th evil dragons sneered. They didn't think much of Lin Feng's formation at all. Lin Feng didn't refute them either. He would only know if the formation was useful after trying it out. Treasures flew out one after another. The 9 demon painting, the heaven-devouring jar, the reincarnation demon palace, the demon orb, the sage emperor stone, the Chonlu demon palace, the chaos miniature sword, the black dragon sword, the undying sword, the spring and autumn sword, the Xianming demon book, and many other treasures. These treasures were all powerful treasures that Lin Feng had collected over the years. Apart from these treasures, there were also 725 giant god weapons and 3,000 divine weapons that had been activated. Lin Feng had arranged for hundreds of powerful cultivators to guard each formation core. Lin Feng had mobilized close to 400,000 experts to activate this formation. Every minute consumed 10 million origin crystals. If the battle lasted for 10 minutes, it would consume 100 million origin crystals. If the battle lasted for an hour, it would consume 600 million origin crystals. If the battle lasted for a day, it would consume 14.4 billion origin crystals. If he wanted to kill the 5th and 8th evil dragons, it would probably take a long time. From the beginning to the end, it would probably consume hundreds of billions of origin crystals. Only someone as rich as Lin Feng could afford such an expenditure. Buzz! Beams of terrifying light of destruction formed in the void and blasted towards the 5th and 8th evil dragons. Break! The 5th and 8th evil dragons attacked. They swung their claws and swung their tails. Bang, bang, bang! A series of collisions rang out. The 2 evil dragons destroyed a large amount of destructive light. However, the ancient warships below were having a hard time blocking the destructive light. The overwhelming light of destruction poured down in torrents. The light of destruction formed a rain of destruction that poured down from the sky. Activate all the defensive formations! The captains of the ancient warships were giving out orders. The defensive arrays on the ships were all activated, protecting the ships. Release the formation breaking dragon light! The captains continued to issue orders. the formation-breaking dragon light was activated. It swept towards the rain of destruction that was pouring down like a rainstorm. The attack power of the formation-breaking dragon light was extremely strong. Not only could it break the formation, but it could also launch a powerful attack on the mission object. However, the Immortal Extermination Grand Formation and the Xian Valley Grand Formation combined to form this rain of destruction. He was simply too powerful. The formation-breaking dragon lights condensed by the ancient ships of war were shattered by the rain of destruction. D-D-da-da. Then, the dense rain of destruction landed on the defensive barrier of the ancient warship. Kacha-kacha! The defensive light shields of the ancient warships were infused with the power of destruction. Kacha-kacha-kacha-kacha sounds could be heard as they were destroyed bit by bit. Lin Feng, who was standing at the core of the formation, was overjoyed when he saw how powerful the rain of destruction was. The combination of the Immortal Extermination Grand Formation and the Xian Valley Grand Formation seemed to form a very special complementary force. Their energy also fused together. The rain of destruction was the result of the combination of the two formations. It was so powerful that it shocked and moved everyone. Find the formation core! Break the formation! The fifth and eighth evil dragons' faces suddenly darkened. They already felt that something was amiss. The formation here was much more powerful than they had imagined. Rumble! Waves of violent energy swept through the world and shook the void. A huge sword condensed in the sky. The huge sword exuded a terrifying power that could tear the sky apart. With a light stroke, heaven and earth collapsed. It was the Immortal Extermination Sword condensed by the Immortal Extermination Grand Formation. Rumble! Another wave of violent energy surged out. An ancient immortal gate appeared in the 9 heavens. It was the Xianpin Gate. The grain god was known as Xianpin. The Xianpin Gate was known as the root of heaven and earth. It was the Xianpin Gate. It was the root of heaven and earth. Now, it had manifested. The Xianpin Gate suppressed the 5th evil dragon. The Immortal Extermination Sword slashed at the 8th evil dragon. Bang! Bang! The two sides collided violently. The 5th and 8th evil dragons were sent flying by the Xianpin Gate and the Immortal Extermination Sword respectively. What kind of formation is this? How can it condense such a terrifying attack? The 8th evil dragon asked with a gloomy expression. He had seen many formations in his life. However, none of those formations could compare to the one he saw today. This is the Dragon's Gate formation. How powerful is it? Lin Feng said with a laugh. The Immortal Extermination Grand Formation and the Xian Valley Grand Formation combined to form a new formation. He named it the Dragon's Gate Formation. The Dragon's Gate had the meaning of a carp leaping over the Dragon's Gate and becoming a true dragon. However, if one couldn't leap over the Dragon's Gate, only death awaited them. What Dragon's Gate formation? I've never heard of it. The 5th and 8th evil dragons said with a frown. Lin Feng said. That's because you're ignorant. The others laughed inwardly. It wasn't that the 5th and 8th evil dragons were ignorant. It was because the Dragon's Gate formation was a name Lin Feng came up with to fool the 5th and 8th evil dragons. It was normal for the 5th and 8th evil dragons to not know about it. The 5th and 8th evil dragons flew into a rage when they heard Lin Feng's mocking words. They waved their huge dragon claws and attacked the Xianpin Gate and the Immortal Extermination Sword one after another. They wanted to destroy the Xianpin Gate and the Immortal Extermination Sword. At this moment, the defensive formation of the fleet of warships could no longer withstand the rain of destruction's attack. Crack! 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 The defensive formations of the warships began to crack. Bang! 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 The defensive formations began to crumble. When the defensive arrays of the ancient warships were destroyed, something terrifying happened. The dense rain of destruction destroyed the ancient warships one after another. The cultivators on the ancient ships of war rushed out from the destroyed ships. However, before they could stabilize themselves in the air, The rain of destruction that covered the sky and covered the earth drowned the cultivators of the evil dragon palace. Pft! 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 Chapter 2105. Quick! Use your defensive Dharma treasures to block the rain of destruction's attack. The densely packed evil dragon palace cultivators screamed in horror. The rain of destruction's attack was too powerful. The two evil dragons might be able to withstand it, but the rest of them couldn't. They hurriedly used their defensive Dharma treasures to block the rain of destruction's attack. Crack, crack! Under the attack of the rain of destruction, those defensive Dharma treasures began to shatter. The defensive Dharma treasures were powerful, but they could not block the rain of destruction's attack. As the defensive Dharma treasures shattered one by one, those cultivators were completely exposed to the rain of destruction's attack. Puff! 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 Tearing sounds could be heard one after another. The densely packed cultivators. They died tragically. They could not block the rain of destruction's attack. To make matters worse, Sun Jian led the Dragon Gate Islands fleet into the sea. Under Lin Feng's control, the rain of destruction would not attack the Dragon Gate Islands fleet. Fire! Sun Jian shouted. Boom! 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 Then, a terrifying scene appeared. Densely packed spiritual stone cannonballs were fired. All of them were aimed at the Dragon Gate cultivators. The ancient warships that were not destroyed by the rain of destruction were destroyed by the spiritual stone cannonballs. Most of the cultivators were killed by the explosion. Some of them escaped, but they had just escaped from the war. They were immediately killed by the rain of destruction. Even if they were not killed by the rain of destruction, they were killed by the spiritual stone cannonballs. The scene in front of them could only be described as tragic. Surrender! We surrender! Spare us, we don't want to die! Many people begged, not wanting to die. The current situation was simply hopeless. Swear allegiance to me, and I will spare your lives, Lin Feng said. We swear! We swear! Countless cultivators said hurriedly. I am willing to swear loyalty to the Dragon Gate's leader, Lin Feng. If I violate the oath, my soul will be shattered and I will die a horrible death. The several million cultivator army swore the oath together. How dare you betray me? You're all courting death. The eighth evil dragon roared and spat out a dragon breath that filled the sky towards the cultivators below. All of you die. The fifth evil dragon also roared. It was unknown what kind of divine ability it had used. Countless meteors fell from the sky. It smashed towards the cultivators below. Master, save me! The millions of cultivators screamed in fear. The attacks of the fifth and eighth evil dragons were too terrifying. The cultivator army couldn't resist at all. Ha 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 ha! Fifth evil dragon, eighth evil dragon, your opponent is me, not my subordinates. Lin Feng laughed heartily and directly activated the universe-shifting Grand Array. He shifted the attacks of the fifth and eighth evil dragons to another location. The Grand Array that was set up this time was the Immortal Extermination Grand Array and the Xian Pin Grand Array. Outside the main array, there were also all sorts of formations. The Universe-Shifting Array was one of them. The Universe-Shifting Array was a top-grade formation passed down by the Celestial Master Sect. It didn't have any offensive or defensive capabilities, but it could shift any divine ability to another location. The fifth and eighth evil dragons' attacks were powerful. However, they were still shifted away by Lin Feng's universe-shifting Grand Array. Kill! Kill everyone from the evil dragon palace! The cultivators who had surrendered to Lin Feng roared and charged towards the cultivators who hadn't surrendered to Lin Feng. The two sides immediately engaged in a fierce battle. Sun Jian led the cultivators of the dragon sect and charged out as well. They joined forces with the 6 million cultivators who had surrendered to Lin Feng. Soon, the cultivators of the evil dragon palace who hadn't surrendered to Lin Feng were all wiped out. Damn it! Damn it! Lin Feng, you little bastard! I'll tear you to pieces! The eighth evil dragon roared furiously when it saw this. Kill! 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 I'll tear that little bastard Lin Feng to pieces! The fifth evil dragon also cursed. Their killing intent soared. Rumble! Rumble! Waves of destructive energy waves were emitted from the bodies of the two of them. They were awakening their bloodlines. They want to awaken their ancestral bloodlines! Lin Feng narrowed his eyes. The fifth and eighth evil dragons were abnormally powerful. Once they awakened their bloodlines, their combat strength would naturally be terrifying. Therefore, Lin Feng didn't dare to be careless. Roar, roar! Two high-pitched dragon roars resounded. Above the fifth and eighth evil dragons, an ancient evil dragon appeared in each of them. It was impossible to tell exactly how enormous that evil dragon was. That evil dragon was like the ruler of the 3 realms and 6 paths. It held the fate of countless living beings in its hands. It was the projection of the primordial evil dragon. After the 5th and 8th evil dragons awakened their ancestral bloodlines, the projection of the primordial evil dragon appeared. It was truly shocking. Could this be the power of the primordial evil dragon's bloodline? Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. Their bloodline purity had reached 80%. It could awaken the power left behind by the primordial evil dragon's bloodline. This power was left behind by the primordial evil dragon. Once awakened, it would become incomparably powerful. Lin Feng had never seen the power of the primordial evil dragon before. If the projection of the primordial evil dragon above the 5th and 8th evil dragons was the power of the primordial evil dragon, this was Lin Feng's first time seeing such a terrifying power appear in the world. Primordial spirit of the primordial evil dragon, please send down the wrath of the evil dragons. Send those lowly ants who dare to challenge the dignity of the evil dragons to hell. The 5th and 8th evil dragons prayed with utmost sincerity. Whoosh! Whoosh! As soon as their voices fell, the eyes of the 2 primordial evil dragons suddenly opened. At that moment, evil winds blew between heaven and earth. Dark clouds rolled in the 9 heavens. It was as if 2 ancient emperors had awoken from their slumber. What terrifying power! Lin Feng was shocked. Lowly ants, how dare you challenge the dignity of my evil dragon race? All of you die! Rumble! As soon as the voices of the 2 primordial evil dragons sounded, the 2 primordial evil dragons waved their huge dragon claws. They attacked the Xian Pin Gate and the Immortal Slaying Sword respectively. Bang! Bang! 2 consecutive violent collisions rang out. The Xian Pin Gate and the Immortal Slaying Sword were sent flying. Everyone's expression changed drastically when they saw this. The attacks of the 2 primordial evil dragons were too terrifying. Everyone activate the formation with all your might! Lin Feng shouted. The cultivators guarding the various formation cores crazily circulated their magic power. Powerful magic power poured into the formation continuously. At the same time, Lin Feng and the others took out the giant god elixir. Chapter 2106. The giant god elixir was very precious. Firstly, it was not easy to find the blood essence of the giant god realm elite who refined it. Secondly, it was not easy to find the various supplementary materials for refining the giant god elixir. Among the many supplementary materials for refining the giant god elixir, some of them were extremely rare. Therefore, it was not easy to refine some giant god elixir. If he could not use the giant god elixir, Lin Feng would not use it. But now the situation was not good. The attacks of the 2 ancestral evil dragons were too powerful. He had to use the giant god elixir to enhance the power of these top-grade treasures. As for the divine weapons, the giant god weapons did not need the giant god elixir to release their power. Swoosh! The giant god elixir was injected into the 9 demons painting, demonic orb, heaven-swallowing jar, and other top-grade treasures. Suddenly, the power of these top-grade treasures began to be awakened. Terrifying fluctuations surged out from these top-grade treasures. At the same time, the 400,000 Dragon Sect experts activated the array together. Immortal Slaying Sword, The power of Xian Pin Gate also increased greatly. Buzz! 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 And the powerful treasures also surged with terrifying power. These treasures merged with the array, so they could enhance the power of Immortal Slaying Sword and Xian Pin Gate. And at this moment, these treasures began to enhance the power of Immortal Slaying Sword and Xian Pin Gate. These treasures could enhance the power of Immortal Slaying Sword and Xian Pin Gate. What's more, Lin Feng used the giant god elixir to activate the power of the 9 demons painting and awaken the power of these treasures. Therefore, these treasures could enhance the power of Immortal Slaying Sword and Xian Pin Gate. 400,000 cultivators and nearly 4,000 magic treasures were working together to activate the formation. The Immortal Slaying Sword and Xian Pin Gate formed by the Immortal Slaying Sword and Xian Pin Gate were even more powerful. Waves of destructive energy surged out from the Immortal Exterminating Sword and the Xian Pin Gate. The Immortal Slaying Sword and Xian Pin Gate slashed at the 2 ancestral evil dragons. Bang! 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 The 2 sides collided, blow after blow. Every time they collided, a wave of destructive power shook out. At this moment, the Demon Lord sent a voice transmission to Lin Feng. If you want to destroy these 2 evil dragons, it's best to separate them and attack one of them. After killing one of them, we'll kill the other one. Lin Feng nodded. After that, he sent a voice transmission to Wen Xiren and said, Fellow Taoist Wen, I'll activate the World Teleportation Grand Formation later. Teleport the 8th evil dragon away and find a way to stall the 5th evil dragon. The 8th evil dragon was easier to deal with than the 5th evil dragon. Bang bang! 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 Bang bang! 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 God God Demon God! Bang! 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 Bang bang! 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 Light flashed. The 8th evil dragon and the progenitor evil dragon in its bloodline instantly disappeared. Lin Feng also disappeared from the core of the deployment spell. At the same time, the heretic sovereign saint and Zhuge Chini also disappeared from their respective formation cores. They heard Lin Feng's summon. Together, they went to kill the 8th evil dragon. 50 li away. The formation intertwined. It sealed this place so tightly that not even a drop of water could pass through. Lin Feng, the heretic sovereign saint, and Zhuge Chini all appeared here. Bang! Light flashed. The Demon Lord also appeared. Seeing the Demon Lord appear, Lin Feng's confidence was greatly boosted. Rumble! Rumble! The Immortal Exterminating Sword and the Xian Pin Gate appeared. Lin Feng was now controlling the Immortal Exterminating Sword and the Xian Pin Gate to attack the ancestral evil dragon. As for Wen Xiren, he was temporarily unable to activate the Xian Pin Gate. Of course, Wen Xiren's current mission was to stall the 5th evil dragon. With Wen Xiren's formation skills, it was absolutely no problem for him to stall the 5th evil dragon for a while. Bang! Bang! Waves of powerful energy fluctuations surged out. The Xian Pin Gate and the Immortal Exterminating Sword descended from the sky. They all attacked the ancestral evil dragon. Bang! 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 The ancestral evil dragon collided with the Xian Pin Gate and the Immortal Exterminating Sword. Originally, the ancestral evil dragon could deal with either the Xian Pin Gate or the Immortal Exterminating Sword by itself. But facing the Xian Pin Gate and the Immortal Exterminating Sword at the same time, it was very difficult. Bang! 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 After the Xian Pin Gate and the Immortal Exterminating Sword bombarded each other several hundred times, the ancestral evil dragon really couldn't take it anymore. The ancestral evil dragon was an illusion formed by energy. Under the continuous bombardment of the Xian Pin Gate and the Immortal Exterminating Sword, the ancestral evil dragon became more and more illusory. Bang! Finally, the ancestral evil dragon's illusory body exploded. The Xian Pin Gate and the Immortal Exterminating Sword attacked the 8th evil dragon. Now that the 8th evil dragon had awakened its ancestral blood, Its battle strength was very terrifying. The huge evil dragon's tail suddenly whipped. Bang! Bang! 2 consecutive sounds. The Xian Pin Gate and the immortal exterminating sword were sent flying. Lin Feng continued to activate the Xian Pin Gate and the immortal exterminating sword to attack the 8th evil dragon. Whoosh! Whoosh! At this time, the Demon Lord, the heretic sovereign saint, Zhuge Qinyi and the other 2 experts all rushed towards the 8th evil dragon. You all deserve to die! The 8th evil dragon roared. It directly spat out a dragon's breath that filled the sky towards the Demon Lord, the heretic sovereign saint, and Zhuge Qinyi. The 3 quickly dodged the dragon's breath. They quickly rushed to the side of the 8th evil dragon. Evil dragon tail whip! The 8th evil dragon was really powerful. Its huge tail suddenly swept across the void. Bang! 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 3 consecutive collisions sounded. The Demon Lord, Zhuge Qinyi, and the heretic sovereign saint were all sent flying. At the same time, his 2 dragon claws directly grabbed the Xian Pin Gate and the immortal exterminating sword. Ant-like existences, you think you can kill me? The 8th evil dragon roared. Whoosh! With a flash of light, Lin Feng appeared above the 8th evil dragon. He used the 4th layer of the archaic dragonesque elephant art. The dragonesque elephant arm instantly manifested. Lin Feng punched towards the 8th evil dragon's head. Bang! Lin Feng's powerful punch landed on the 8th evil dragon's head and sent it flying. However, the 8th evil dragon was very terrifying. It opened its mouth and spat out an energy ball towards Lin Feng. The energy ball directly exploded beside Lin Feng. Lin Feng was sent flying. Lin Feng was covered in blood from the explosion. Damn it, this 8th evil dragon is really powerful. Lin Feng's expression was gloomy. Die! At this time, the heretic sovereign saint quietly rushed to the 8th evil dragon's side. Its sharp claws directly grabbed the softest part of the 8th evil dragon's abdomen. The scales on the abdomen of a dragon were relatively thin. It was the weakest point of their entire body. PFFF. The heretic sovereign saint's body was indeed terrifying. Its sharp claws directly cut open a bloody wound on the 8th evil dragon's abdomen. Chapter 2107. The heretic dominator saint was an emperor corpse. He was a corpse cultivator. These corpse cultivators were most proficient in corpse poison. Lin Feng had experienced the heretic dominator saint's corpse poison before. It was extremely terrifying. Now, the heretic dominator saint's corpse poison had invaded the 8th evil dragon's body. The 8th evil dragon was instantly poisoned. Previously, Lin Feng had used the white jade toad to neutralize the heretic dominator saint's corpse poison before subduing him. The 8th evil dragon did not have the white jade toad. Naturally, it could not neutralize the heretic dominator saint's corpse poison. Corpse poison! Corpse poison! You're a corpse cultivator. How can the corpse poison in your body be so powerful? The 8th evil dragon roared furiously. He sent the heretic dominator saint flying with a claw. Pooh! 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 At this moment, the corpse poison in the 8th evil dragon's body began to erupt. The area on his abdomen that the heretic dominator saint had torn apart began to fester. A foul stench filled the air. Black blood flowed out from the festering areas. Within the blood, it was extremely poisonous. Evil dragon fire! The heretic dominator saint roared. The evil dragon fire in his body quickly surged toward the corpse poison. The heretic dominator saint's methods were extraordinary. He was actually able to use his evil dragon fire to temporarily resist the corpse poison's corrosion. However, due to the corpse poison, the heretic dominator saint's combat strength had greatly decreased. His cultivation has been greatly weakened. Let's attack together and destroy him. Lin Feng could not help but roar. Swish! The sword chi seemed to be able to cut down the stars in the outer realm. The immortal slaying sword flew out. It slashed out a dazzling sword chi. Rumble! The gate of Xianpin flew over quickly. It kept growing bigger and bigger. Soon, it was as big as a mountain. The gate of Xianpin descended from the sky. It ruthlessly pressed down on the 8th evil dragon. Lin Feng stepped on the octagonal world, activated the Dracophane arm, and punched toward the 8th evil dragon. Keek keek! The heretic dominator saint let out a sinister cry. His half-meter-long sharp corpse claws flickered with a blue luster. It was obvious that the corpse claw contained a deadly poison. The evil dominator saint's corpse claw was no ordinary corpse claw. He had long refined it into his most powerful magic treasure. Just like before, the evil dominator saint used its sharp corpse claws to deal with the 8th evil dragon. As long as he could break through the 8th evil dragon's defense. At that time, he could continue to inject the corpse poison into the 8th evil dragon's body. As a large amount of corpse poison entered the 8th evil dragon's body, its battle prowess continued to decline. They might even be poisoned to death. As an alchemist, Shugachini's means were naturally not trivial. He took out a small black bell. He held the small bell in his hand and shook it. Clang, 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 clang. Along with the shaking of the little black bell, a series of hallucinatory sounds could be heard. The psychedelic voice poured into the 8th evil dragon's mind. The 8th evil dragon began to shake its head. That hallucinatory sound caused the 8th evil dragon to fall into a strange illusion. Although the 8th evil dragon had a strong will, it could not help but be affected. On the other hand, Yao Jun condensed several thick chains of order and wrapped them around the 8th evil dragon. Everyone worked together. The 8th evil dragon was no match. Moreover, its body was bound by the chains of order condensed by the demon lord. Although it kept struggling, it had struggled many times. It was still unable to break free. Moreover, the evil dominator saint left several wounds on the 8th evil dragon's body. A large amount of corpse poison entered the 8th evil dragon's body. The 8th evil dragon could no longer suppress the corpse poison that was entering its body. Its battle prowess had weakened to the lowest point. I can't accept this, the 8th evil dragon roared. But no matter how unwilling it was, this battle, it could no longer be reversed. 8th evil dragon! Die! Lin Feng's voice was cold. He summoned the black dragon's sword. He held the black dragon's sword with both hands. He slashed at the 8th evil dragon's head. The 8th evil dragon was too deeply poisoned, and its body was bound by the chains of order condensed by the demon lord. It could not struggle. Therefore, facing Lin Feng's slash, the 8th evil dragon could no longer dodge. However, the 8th evil dragon's defense was indeed strong. The first slash was unable to break through its dragon scales. Clang, clang, clang! 9 consecutive slashes came down. Finally, Lin Feng had successfully cut off the 8th evil dragon's head. Let's go back and kill the 5th evil dragon! Lin Feng put away the 8th evil dragon's corpse. Then, he quickly flew into the distance. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! The demon lord, the evil dominator saint, and Zhuge followed closely behind and quickly left. In front of the Dragon Gate Island, the ancestral evil dragon condensed by the 5th evil dragon was constantly attacking the array. When Xiren's understanding of the array was profound enough, so he controlled the array. He controlled the array and blocked the 5th evil dragon's attacks. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh! At this time, Lin Feng and the others returned. Lin Feng sneered. The 8th evil dragon has been killed. It's your turn now. What? You killed 8th brother? Lin Feng, you little bastard, you deserve to die. After hearing Lin Feng's words, the 5th evil dragon roared like a madman. You're the one who deserves to die. Everyone, let's work together and kill the 5th evil dragon. Lin Feng shouted. Rumble. Xianpin Gate took the lead and charged toward the 5th evil dragon. Swoosh! Sword Chi soared into the sky. The immortal exterminating sword quickly slashed toward the 5th evil dragon. Lin Feng, the evil dominator saint, the demon lord, Zhuge, Xiren, and the others all charged toward the 5th evil dragon. The 5th evil dragon was much stronger than the 8th evil dragon. It was difficult to deal with. It was also much more difficult. However, Lin Feng and the others worked together to attack the fifth evil dragon. Although the fifth evil dragon was very powerful. However, under the combined attacks of Lin Feng and the others, the fifth evil dragon was eventually killed by Lin Feng and the others. Swoosh! The array dispersed. The fifth evil dragon's corpse floated above the sea. Deafening noises could be heard all around. Lin Feng and the others also looked relieved. They had finally killed the fifth and eighth evil dragons. The news that the fifth and eighth evil dragons had led an army of tens of millions of cultivators to attack the Dragon Gate and died quickly spread through the surrounding seas. Even some of the major forces in the inner lands of the 9 states who paid attention to overseas news had heard about it. The deaths of the fifth and eighth evil dragons were even more sensational than the death of the 9th evil dragon. It caused a huge uproar. Countless forces and countless cultivators gathering places were discussing this matter. Space-time reverse current oceanic territory, inside the Red Dust Immortal sect. The Red World Fairy stood on a mountain peak and looked into the depths of the sea of clouds. Chapter 2108. The First Evil Dragon Palace. The first evil dragon and the other 5 evil dragons had created memorial tablets for the 5th and 8th evil dragons. Then, under the first evil dragon's lead, after paying their respects to the dead 5th and 8th evil dragons, they returned to the living room. Big brother! Now that 5th and 8th brother are dead, we must avenge them. Let's attack together. With our army, we can definitely flatten the dragon sect, said the 6th evil dragon. The 3rd evil dragon said, That's right. With Big Brother leading us, we can definitely destroy the dragon sect and capture Lin Feng alive. Then we'll cut him into 1,000 pieces. We'll avenge our dead brothers, asked the 2nd evil dragon. Big brother, what do you think? Said the 1st evil dragon. Although I don't want to admit it, the dragon sect is already strong enough to kill 5th and 8th brother. It's impossible for a mere Lin Feng to kill 5th and 8th brother. There must be a terrifying expert behind Lin Feng. If the 6 of us work together, we might be able to flatten the dragon sect island. However, brothers, don't forget that our evil dragon tribe is not without enemies. There's the deep-sea demon kingdom eyeing us covetously. There's also that group of crows from Fusan Island. The people from Myriad Immortal Island also have ulterior motives. Moreover, we have to be on guard against the merfolk. The merfolk are a group of greedy wolves. On the surface, they seem to have a good relationship with our evil dragon palace, but they've been secretly eyeing our ancestral treasure. If there's a chance to snatch it, those despicable merfolk won't let it go so easily. Most importantly, the evil dragon tribe has a blood feud with the White Peacock tribe. Once we start fighting the dragon sect, the White Peacock tribe will definitely make their move. Although the White Peacock tribe isn't as strong as they used to be, they're still very terrifying. We have to be on guard. Therefore, if we really fight, the dragon sect might be destroyed in our hands, but I'm worried that our evil dragon tribe will suffer a heavy blow. We might even be exterminated. Hearing the great evil dragon's analysis, the other 5 evil dragons couldn't help but frown. The great evil dragon's words weren't just words to scare them. They knew this very well. Are we going to let that little bastard Lin Feng go? Let go of the dragon sect? I can't accept this, the 6th evil dragon said with a gloomy expression. A blood feud must be repaid with blood. The 1st evil dragon's eyes flashed with killing intent. Lin Feng must die. All the members of the Dragon's Gate must die. All those who are related to Lin Feng must die. But now is not the best time to deal with Lin Feng and the Dragon's Gate, the 1st evil dragon said in a deep voice. The 2nd evil dragon asked, What are your plans, big brother? Wait for an opportunity. If we can wait until Lin Feng is alone, that would be the best. We can directly capture that little brat and use the soul-seizing technique to control that little brat's soul. Then we can control Lin Feng and lure out the people behind Lin Feng. We'll kill them first, then cut Lin Feng into 1,000 pieces, and send his soul to the 9 hells purgatory. We'll make him suffer endless torment for all eternity. He'll never be able to reincarnate. Lin Feng didn't know about the first evil dragon's plan. After killing 3 evil dragons in a row, the Dragon's Gate became famous. The Dragon's Gate's reputation reached its peak. As a result, more and more experts joined the Dragon's Gate. Many Empyrean gods came to join the Dragon's Gate. It was better to lean against a big tree. Everyone understood this principle. On this day, 3 terrifying experts came to visit Lin Feng. They called themselves the 3 Friends of Winter. Furthermore, all 3 of them were giant god realm experts. Initially, Lin Feng was discussing blade techniques with Wenzi Ran and Zhuge, and they were talking about cultivation. A servant came to report that the 3 Friends of Winter had come to visit. He looked at Wenziren and Zhuge and asked, "Who are the 3 Friends of Winter? Fellow Taoists, have you heard of it?" Wenziren and Zhuge nodded. Wenziren said, "Those 3 aren't simple." "Oh? May I know where they're from?" Lin Feng asked curiously. Wenziren said, "To be more precise, those 3 aren't humans. They're demons. They're formed from a plum blossom, a pine tree, and a bamboo. Sure you may, my family washes the inkstone pool, blossoms blooming with ink. Don't want people to praise you for your good color, leave only a clear air filling the universe. Sure Yun Song, don't you see, the cold of winter, where to seek the fragrant grass? Don't you see again, the pine tree, green and tender again? Heaven and earth are heartless, and all things are true. Straight and strong mountains, unparalleled in beauty. Full of ice and frost, 1,000 years have not passed. Upholding the high and firm gates of heaven, dry in the spring breeze and blue clouds. Shuyun Zhu, 1,000 years again and again, the east wind, the new yellow bamboo of the ancient country is proud of its heroes. Even if humble in times of prosperity, don't let the tall hidden beetle. Plum, pine, and bamboo are often regarded as the symbols of evergreen and vigorous vitality. Sometimes, they also represent noble qualities. Just like the 3 Friends of Winter who are here to visit you, Sect Master. They are called Mo Mei Fang, Wu Yun Song, and Yuan Shizhu. They are all people of noble character. 3 million years ago, they had already dominated the sea area. Because they were willing to help others without asking for anything in return, they won a very good reputation and were highly respected. Later, they went into seclusion. Now they are here to visit you. Wenziren said. Let's go and meet the 3 Friends of Winter, Lin Feng said. All right. Sect Master, please. Wenziren and Zhuge stood up and bowed slightly, allowing Lin Feng to go first. Previously, they had relied on Lin Feng because of a gentleman's agreement. But now, the 2 of them were completely convinced by Lin Feng. Lin Feng was so young, but he had such a powerful cultivation, such a high level of spirit array master, such great talent, and knew how to judge people. In such a short time, he had established a huge force like the Dragon Sect. It was amazing and moving. A figure like Lin Feng. After such a long time. Only one person had appeared in the 9 prefectures. That was the Red World Fairy. A master like Lin Feng was worthy of them following. Lin Feng walked outside. Wenziren and Zhuge followed closely behind. Soon, Lin Feng arrived at the hall. He saw 3 people sitting in the hall. The first person was an old man in white. The second person was an old man in green. The third person was an old man in blue. These 3 old men each had a sage-like demeanor. They didn't look like mortals, but like old immortals who had descended from the heavens. Obviously, these 3 old men were the 3 Friends of Winter. Hearing the footsteps, the 3 old men also looked outside. The 3 old men looked at Lin Feng at the same time. They saw Lin Feng walking with a majestic gait. His face was like jade, and his eyes were like stars. Just by looking at his face, the 3 old men couldn't help but be shocked. Sure enough, he was a dragon among men. At such a young age, he already had the appearance of a saint emperor. Chapter 2109. Junior Lin Feng! Seniors, please forgive me for making you wait for so long. Lin Feng walked towards them. He looked like a celestial being. He cupped his fist and said in a resounding voice. He sounded sincere and apologetic, but he didn't lose his elegance. The three friends of Winter's evaluation of Lin Feng improved once again. He was so young, yet he was still so humble. This kind of character was too rare. The three friends of Winter said, Sect Master Lin is so busy every day. We came too hastily. I hope Sect Master Lin won't blame us. Seniors, you're too courteous. Your presence brings light to the dragon sect's humble dwelling. Lin Feng smiled. Zhuge Qinyi smiled and said, Fellow Taoists, I wonder if you still remember the two of us? The three friends of Winter looked at Zhuge Qinyi and Wen Xiren. Could it be fellow Taoist Zhuge and fellow Taoist Wen? The three friends of Winter were bewildered. Around 3 million years ago, they had met Zhuge Qinyi and Wen Xiren once. In the blink of an eye, 3 million years had passed. For a moment, they didn't dare to recognize them. Zhuge Qinyi and Wen Xiren smiled and said at the same time, It's us. Fellow Taoists, are you two also here to visit Sect Master Lin? Yuan Shizhu couldn't help but ask. Wen Xiren said, We're not here to visit Sect Master Lin. The two of us have already submitted to Sect Master Lin. The three friends of Winter were shocked. They hadn't expected the famous alchemist Zhuge Qinyi and the formation Grandmaster Wen Xiren to have submitted to Lin Feng long ago. This caused quite a stir in their hearts. Initially, the three friends of Sui Han had come to observe Lin Feng. They wanted to see if Lin Feng was the legendary Destined One. But now, it seemed that Lin Feng was so young, but he already had the bearing of an emperor. There was an 80% to 90% chance that he was the Destined One. Thus, the three friends of Winter decided to submit to him. However, they still had some doubts in their hearts. Now that they saw Zhuge Qinyi and Wen Xiren submitting to Lin Feng so early, their doubts disappeared. The doubts in his heart were all gone. Wen Xiren was meticulous and seemed to know what the three friends of Sui Han were thinking. He said, Fellow Taoists! It's as difficult as ascending to the heavens for us to cultivate to this point. At the end of the day, we still lack some luck. Although sect leader Lin is young, his abilities are outstanding. Moreover, his talent, character, and cultivation are all excellent. Let's submit to sect leader Lin. When sect leader Lin becomes an immortal emperor in the future, he can also bestow upon us blessings and luck, allowing us to improve further. What do the three of you think? The three friends of Winter had already made their decision. Now that he heard Wen Xiren's words, they smiled and said in unison, If sect leader Lin does not despise us for being old and useless, the three of us are willing to submit to sect leader Lin. Ha ha! The three seniors are too polite. In the future, the dragon sect will have to rely on the three of you, Lin Feng said with a smile, to be able to recruit 3 giant god realm powerhouses. This was naturally something worthy of celebration. The three friends of Winter said, Sect leader, please don't call the three of us seniors. We don't deserve it, Lin Feng said. Then I'll address the three of you as fellow Taoists just like how I address fellow Taoists when in Zhuge. That's great. The three friends of Winter nodded. The news of the three friends of Winter joining the dragon sect leader Lin Feng spread like wildfire. Moreover, the news spread. Wen Xiren and Zhuge Qinyi had long since submitted to Lin Feng. Therefore, the news of the 5 powerhouses submitting to Lin Feng caused a huge uproar. One had to know. Giant god realm powerhouses were very rare. Even the top forces like the 10 great immortal sects did not have many giant god realm powerhouses. Now, in a short period of time, Lin Feng had gathered 5 giant god realm powerhouses under his command. Later there was news that Lin Feng had another powerful figure by his side. It was the corpse of an immortal emperor who had awakened its intelligence and cultivated its cultivation. It was also a giant god realm existence. In this way, Lin Feng had gathered 6 giant god realm powerhouses under his command. The dragon sect had become a hot topic for countless forces and cultivators. Lin Feng's name had spread throughout the continent of the 9 provinces. Some people marveled at Lin Feng's superb means. At such a young age, he had already established such a huge force and gathered so many powerhouses. There were also some people who were dismissive of this. They thought that Lin Feng was just a chess piece pushed to the front stage. Moreover, that was what most people thought. After all, Lin Feng was too young. How could he accomplish so many impossible things? Therefore, many people began to guess who was behind Lin Feng. The news that Lin Feng came from the Reincarnation Immortal sect spread among the major forces. So many people speculated that the Reincarnation Immortal sect might be behind Lin Feng. The Reincarnation Immortal Venerable was ranked in the top 10 powerhouses in 9 regions. His cultivation base was exceedingly high. Many people wondered if there was a shadow of the Reincarnation Immortal Venerable. Later, another piece of news came out. This news was about Lin Feng's master. The news that Lin Feng was Master Tortoise's disciple quickly spread. Damn it! That old bastard, old tortoise, old hooligan, shameless disciple. Many people could not help but curse when they heard the words, Master Tortoise. They gnashed their teeth and wanted to cut Master Tortoise into pieces. But in the end, they all gave up. It must be that old bastard Master Tortoise who is helping him behind the scenes, many people muttered. Master Tortoise's reputation was very bad, which made many top forces gnash their teeth. This was because when Master Tortoise was young, he had flirted with many saintesses of the major forces. This was naturally a great humiliation for those major forces. But after a long time, Master Tortoise still lived very freely. Those who were in the same generation as Master Tortoise were basically tortured to death by Master Tortoise. Master Tortoise was a sacred beast, the black tortoise. The black tortoise was a kind of turtle. What was the greatest ability of turtle-type creatures? It had to be longevity. It was an unimaginably long lifespan. Master Tortoise had lived for such a long time, but no one knew what level his cultivation was at. Although many top forces recorded Master Tortoise's dark history. They wanted to cut Master Tortoise into 8 pieces and throw him into a pot of oil and fry him. But no force dared to provoke Master Tortoise. The Taishang Immortal sect had been fighting with the Reincarnation Immortal sect for many years. But because the Taishang Immortal sect was afraid of Master Tortoise, they did not dare to make a move against the Reincarnation Immortal sect. Lin Feng did not know what the outside world was talking about and speculating about him. He was now holding a banquet to send him off. He planned to leave the 9 regions and return to the Ji family in the Tianwu continent to see his family and descendants. Chapter 21:10. After the banquet ended, the guests dispersed. Lin Feng and Ji Wu were drinking tea in the living room. Fellow Taoist, I don't know when we'll meet again. I hope you'll be safe, Lin Feng said. If we're fated to meet again, we'll meet again. Ji Wu smiled. Lin Feng said, Before you leave, can you perform another divination for me? Of course. Sect Master, what do you want me to divine? Ji Wu asked. Lin Feng told Ji Wu about Du Zhu and the Umbra Void Beast. Ji Wu said, Then I'll perform a divination. He took out a jade tube and a tortoise shell. Then, he placed the 7 tortoise shells in the jade tube. Clatter! Then, Ji Wu shook the jade tube. The sound of the tortoise shells colliding could be heard from the jade tube. Ji Wu kept chanting some incantations that Lin Feng couldn't understand. After he finished chanting, Ji Wu threw out the 7 tortoise shells. The 7 tortoise shells were scattered all over the place. Seeing this, Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. He had a bad feeling. Ji Wu glanced at it, and couldn't help but frown slightly. He said, The divination is pointing to the northwest. It seems that the 2 subordinates of Sect Master are in a very dangerous situation at this moment. Can you tell where they are exactly? Lin Feng asked. It's difficult to see the truth with the concealment of the heavenly Tao. It seems that someone deliberately concealed the heavenly Tao, Ji Wu said. After a pause, he said, I think of a place. Where? Lin Feng asked. Evil Dragon Island, Jiwoo said. Evil Dragon Island? The place where the Evil Dragon clan imprisoned countless criminals? Lin Feng frowned slightly. That's right. This was one of the most important places for the Evil Dragon race. Many prisoners were imprisoned there, and many of them had deep enmity with the Evil Dragon race. Of course, many of them were innocent cultivators. The Evil Dragon race specialized in refining evil devil magic treasures, such as the 10,000 ghost-devouring banner. In order to refine evil devil magic treasures, the Evil Dragon race needed countless souls to transform into evil spirits. The evil spirits would kill each other to cultivate the strongest evil spirit, or evil ghost. And the Evil Dragon Devil Prison of the Evil Dragon Island is a place to cultivate these evil spirits and evil spirits. Anyone who is sent there will ultimately be tortured to death by the Evil Dragon clan in the cruelest way. Any living being that dies miserably will often produce resentment, and it is even easier to form evil spirits and evil spirits. Therefore, that place can be called a purgatory in the human world. Anyone who is sent into the Evil Dragon Devil Prison is basically unable to come out alive. Moreover, that place was heavily guarded. Many experts of the Evil Dragon race were stationed there. It was said that the master of the Devil Prison had a great origin. It seemed that the 9 evil dragons had paid a great price to summon a terrifying creature from the underworld. Therefore, with the master of the Devil Prison guarding the Evil Dragon Devil Prison, the 9 evil dragons could sleep peacefully in the Evil Dragon Devil Prison. Moreover, this Evil Dragon Island was only about 1,000 li away from the first Evil Dragon Palace. If anything happened, the first Evil Dragon Palace could send an army to the island in less than an hour. Therefore, the Evil Dragon Devil Prison is a synonym for death. Anyone who enters the Evil Dragon Devil Prison will die. Back then, I was sent to the Evil Dragon Devil Prison, but because I still had some value, the 9 evil dragons didn't kill me. Instead, they imprisoned me until the sect master rescued me, Jiwoo said. Lin Feng couldn't help but look grave and solemn. He said, If my 2 subordinates were really imprisoned in the Evil Dragon Devil Prison, wouldn't it mean that they would die? Jiwoo smiled bitterly and said, Theoretically, yes. The Evil Dragon Devil Prison is heavily guarded, and it's next to the first Evil Dragon Palace. It's impossible to attack by force. Even if we managed to take it down, hundreds of cultivators would die. Moreover, it's hard to say whether we could take it down or not. The first evil dragon is too powerful. Rumor has it that the first evil dragon sold his soul to a great fiend lord of the underworld. That's why he's so powerful and almost immortal. The reason why the 9 evil dragons can summon the master of the devil prison is also related to the fact that the first evil dragon sold his soul to a great fiend lord of the underworld. Lin Feng rubbed his chin and said, It seems like the first evil dragon is much more terrifying than I thought. Jiwoo said, Although the other 8 evil dragons are also terrifying, there are ways to deal with them. The first evil dragon can communicate with a great fiend lord of the underworld. His methods are strange, and it won't be easy to kill him. Only someone as strong as the Red World Fairy can kill him, or we can use an immortal weapon to kill him. It won't be easy to kill the first evil dragon with ordinary methods. Whether or not Sect Master's 2 subordinates are imprisoned in the Evil Dragon Devil Prison is only a guess after all. Therefore, Sect Master need not be anxious. Since Sect Master has already sensed them several times, I believe Sect Master will be able to sense them again very soon. At that time, perhaps you will be able to confirm their location. After confirming their location, it won't be too late to think of a way to rescue them. Lin Feng nodded and said, For now, we can only wait. Jiwoo stood up and said, I've been away from home for more than 1,000,000 years. It's time for me to go back and take a look. I won't stay here any longer. Lin Feng took out a storage ring and gave it to Jiwoo, saying, In the past, I was friends with Ji Yuhan of the Ji family, but we haven't seen each other for many years. There are some worthless things in this storage ring. Senior, please help me take them back. Ha ha. Jiwoo laughed. He took the storage ring and patted Lin Feng's shoulder, saying, Who knows, maybe we'll become a family in the future. When I go back, I want to see which little girl is so lucky to have made you remember her. Lin Feng smiled and said, She's a very understanding and cute little girl. Lin Feng personally escorted Ji Wu out of the Dragon Gate Island. Then, he returned to his residence. The next day, Miao Ke also came to say goodbye to Lin Feng. In the back garden, she stood side by side with Lin Feng and said softly, If I leave, will you miss me? Miao Ke's beautiful eyes were like two pools of spring water. Although she only treated Lin Feng as a tool for her to cultivate the emotionless Tao. However, in order to cultivate the emotionless Tao, one must first fall in love. The current Miao Ke. She had fallen in love with Lin Feng. Lin Feng did not know that Miao Ke wanted to use him as a tool to cultivate the emotionless Tao. He only felt Miao Ke's infinite love. Lin Feng said with a smile. Of course. Miao Ke took the initiative to hug Lin Feng, her beautiful face pressed against Lin Feng's chest. She was as quiet as a virgin, unwilling to be separated from Lin Feng for a long time. Chapter 21:11. After Miao Ke left, Yu Lianwei came to look for Lin Feng. Behind her was Tang Laner, her little tail. Tang Laner seemed to be worried that Yu Lianwei would do something out of line. Whenever Yu Lianwei went out alone, she would follow her like a shadow. That vixen left? Yu Lianwei curled her lips. Lin Feng said, You seem to have a big prejudice against Miao Ke. Yu Lianwei said, It's not that I have a prejudice against her, but she's too sinister. She's just using you. Do you know that? Lin Feng frowned slightly and asked, What do you mean? Yu Lianwei suddenly giggled. Lin Feng asked, What are you laughing at? Yu Lianwei said, I'm laughing at how someone as powerful as you was kept in the dark by Miao Ke. She's not simple. She cultivates the emotionless Tao. Since it's the emotionless Tao, how can she fall in love? Now that she's fallen in love with you, don't you think there's something wrong with that? The emotionless Tao? Lin Feng frowned. He hadn't thought of that before. He said, I've heard that women who cultivate the emotionless Tao are all as cold as ice. Miao Ke isn't that kind of person. Are you mistaken? Yu Lianwei said. Miao Ke's greatest ability is her ability to disguise herself. Her pitiful and weak appearance are all fake. You have to be careful. Thank you for telling me, Lin Feng said. If you really want to thank me, then promise me one thing, said Yu Lianwei. What did I promise you? Lin Feng asked. How about marrying me? Yu Lianwei asked with a smile. Lin Feng was stunned. He hadn't expected Yu Lianwei to make such a request. He. Yu Lianwei giggled and said, Think about it. Once you've made up your mind, I'll bring you to my clan to give you betrothal gifts. Lin Feng smiled bitterly. He didn't know whether Yu Lianwei was telling the truth or joking with him. Yu Lianwei and Tang Laner also left the Dragon Gate Island. A few days later, Princess Shirley would return with her brother, Su Jiyuan. After all, Princess Shirley hadn't married Lin Feng yet. She had been living with Lin Feng for a long time, so she was worried about some rumors. Naza followed Princess Shirley to the ancestral grounds of the Deep-Sea Demon Kingdom. She wanted to live with Princess Shirley for a while, and Lin Feng naturally agreed. The originally bustling Dragon Gate Island seemed to have become much more deserted after these women left. On this day, the Grand Elder of the Itinerant Cultivator Alliance of the ancient Desolate Sea region, Zhao Ke, came to see Lin Feng. Zhao Ke was a very well-hidden figure. In the past, Lin Feng felt that this person was unfathomable. Now that Lin Feng's cultivation had increased, he could roughly sense Zhao Ke's realm. This Zhao Ke should be at the second or third firmament of the Giant God Realm. He was also the only Giant God Realm expert in the Itinerant Cultivator Alliance. In the guest hall, the guest of honor was seated, and a maidservant served spirit tea. Lin Feng looked at Zhao Ke and said with a smile, May I know what brings you here? Zhao Ke smiled and said, Sect Master Lin, I'm here as a representative of the various major factions in the ancient Desolate Sea region. Oh? Lin Feng was surprised. Please speak frankly, Grand Elder. Zhao Kuo continued. Many factions wish to submit to you, Sect Master. I wonder if you're willing to accept them? When Lin Feng heard Zhao Kuo's words, he knew what was going on. Previously, there had been conflicts between the various major factions in the ancient Desolate Sea region. However, when the outside factions wanted to make a move on the ancient Desolate Sea region's factions, the factions in the ancient Desolate Sea region would join forces to fight against the outside factions. However, the evil Dragon Palace attacked the Dragon Sect. The factions in the ancient Desolate Sea region were afraid of the evil Dragon Palace. They didn't help the Dragon Sect. Now that Lin Feng had led the Dragon Sect to slay 3 evil dragons, many experts had come to submit to him. The Dragon Sect had become a superpower in the ocean. The factions in the ancient Desolate Sea region were worried that Lin Feng would seek revenge and eliminate them. Therefore, they went to the Itinerant Cultivator Alliance and invited Zhao Kuo to persuade them. If Lin Feng was willing to accept them, the crisis would be resolved. However, if Lin Feng was unwilling to accept them, they would have no choice but to flee. Lin Feng did not blame the factions in the ancient Desolate Sea region. After all, who would dare to offend a faction as powerful as the evil Dragon Palace? It was not impossible for him to accept them. However, even if he accepted them, Lin Feng did not intend to put them in an important position. He looked at Zhao Kuo and said with a smile, "If you are willing to submit to me, I will give you face and take in these factions. What do you think?" This? Zhao Kuo hesitated. Zhao Kuo had a carefree personality. She did not like to be restrained. That was why she hesitated. Lin Feng said, "Although it's easy to live a carefree life, cultivators like us should fight against the heavens and the earth to become a superpower. Even if it's not for ourselves, we should think of our descendants." Zhao Kuo pondered with an uncertain expression. In the end, she gritted her teeth and said, "All right. From now on I, Zhao Kuo, will listen to your orders." The Grand Elder of the Itinerant Cultivator Alliance in the ancient Desolate Sea region was actually the leader of the Itinerant Cultivator Alliance. The Itinerant Cultivator Alliance did not have an alliance leader. The one in charge was the group of elders. The Grand Elder was the leader of the group of elders. Therefore, Zhao Kuo submitted to Lin Feng. It caused quite a commotion. Lin Feng took over the territories of the various factions in the ancient Desolate Sea region. After that, the ancient Desolate Sea region was completely under Lin Feng's control. Meanwhile, the Dragon's Gate had become a colossal superpower in the sea region. The rise of the Dragon Sect was too fast. It was unbelievable. It was only when everyone turned around that they realized something. The Dragon Sect had become a colossus that countless people looked up to. That night, when Lin Feng was cultivating, he once again sensed Du Zhu and the Shadow Void Beast calling out to him. It was still the same dark world. This time, Lin Feng could hear it more clearly. He heard countless miserable cries. "Dragon!" Lin Feng heard Du Zhu's voice. Du Zhu mentioned a dragon. Lin Feng was shocked. Could it be that Du Zhu and the Shadow Void Beast were really imprisoned in the evil Dragon Devil prison? At this moment, Du Zhu's voice disappeared. An extremely cold and gloomy aura emanated from the dark world. A ball of flames appeared in that world. The flames burned fiercely. Inside the flames, then, a blood-red eye appeared in front of him. Now, the blood-red eye that appeared in the flames looked at Lin Feng across the endless void. When it saw the blood-red eye thump, 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 Lin Feng's heart started beating rapidly. He felt as if his heart was going to explode. Chapter 21:12. The feeling of his heart about to explode was terrible. Lin Feng took a deep breath and quickly cut off the connection with the dark world. Only then did he feel much better. Fire in the darkness, eyes in the fire, how terrifying! It seems that place should be the evil Dragon Devil prison. Lin Feng couldn't help but ponder. According to Ji Wu, the evil Dragon Devil prison was heavily guarded and was so close to the number 1 evil Dragon Palace. It was impossible to use brute force. The only way was to sneak in, find Du Zhu and the Shadow Void Beast, and then find a way to get out of the evil dragon devil prison. However, it was easier said than done to sneak into the evil dragon devil prison. He summoned the 7 giant God Realm experts under his command. He told them about his plan to go to the evil dragon devil prison to rescue Du Zhu and the Shadow Void Beast. The 7 experts didn't know Du Zhu and the Shadow Void Beast, but they knew that they were Lin Feng's subordinates. Although they knew that it would be difficult, the 7 experts couldn't help but feel emotional when they saw Lin Feng doing his best to rescue his subordinates. They felt that Lin Feng was a master worth relying on. When Xiren said, "Since Sect Master has already made preparations to go to the evil dragon devil prison, we are willing to follow you there. We won't even frown if we climb a mountain of blades or dive into a sea of fire," Lin Feng said. "We can't have too many people going to the evil dragon devil prison this time. Moreover, fellow Taoist One and the others are all experts who have been famous for a long time. It's inevitable that they will be recognized. Therefore, I plan to bring only the evil Dominator Saint this time." "What? Isn't it a little too dangerous to bring only the heretic Sovereign Saint with you?" When Xiren and the others frowned. They didn't agree with Lin Feng's decision. In their opinion, it was too dangerous. Their lives could be in danger at any time. Lin Feng said, "Everyone, don't worry. Although there is a certain amount of danger, the evil Dominator Saint, and I will be able to handle it." Zhuge Qinyi said, "Since Sect Master has already made his decision, then we will wait outside for Sect Master. If something unexpected happens, we can also attack the evil dragon devil prison and attract the attention of the guards. This way, we can reduce the pressure on the Sect Master, and when the time comes, it will be easier for the Sect Master to escape." Lin Feng thought for a moment and said, "That's good too. Get ready, we'll set off tomorrow." The rest of the people stood up and took their leave. Everyone went back to prepare. The next day, the ancient starship Xianyuan set off. When they were still 1,000 miles away from the evil dragon island, Lin Feng and evil revered saint left the Xianyuan ancient starship. The ancient starship Xianyuan also dived into the underwater world and slowly moved towards the evil dragon island. "Master, what should we do next?" the evil Dominator Saint asked. No matter how hard he racked his brain, he still couldn't think of a way to enter the evil dragon devil prison. The evil dragon devil prison was heavily guarded. He wanted to enter it. This was something that was almost impossible. "Pretend to be a prisoner and sneak in," Lin Feng said. The evil Dominator Saint asked doubtfully. "But how can we pretend to be prisoners and sneak into the evil dragon devil prison? I've already sent people to inquire about it. Every day, there will be ships filled with prisoners heading towards Evil Dragon Island. Most of these prisoners are slaves, some of them are cultivators secretly captured by Evil Dragon Palace, some of them are death row prisoners purchased by Evil Dragon Palace from various forces, and some of them are people who have enmity with Evil Dragon Palace. And these prisoners will all be imprisoned in Evil Dragon Devil Prison, then tortured to death by Evil Dragon Devil Prison's people and refined into evil ghosts, evil spirits. When the ship escorting the prisoners arrives, we'll sneak in. At that time, the people from the Evil Dragon Palace will escort us into the Evil Dragon Devil Prison. Once we're in the Evil Dragon Devil Prison, we'll think of a way to escape. After that, we'll look for Du Zhu and the Umbra Void Beast," Lin Feng said. "I see. That's a good idea," the evil Dominator Saint said. That night, a huge ship with the Evil Dragon Palace's flag sailed over from afar. The ship was enveloped by a restriction. However, such a restriction was nothing to Lin Feng. It was simply too simple. Lin Feng easily tore through the restriction and entered it with the evil Dominator Saint. Then, he restored the torn restriction to its original state. After doing all of this, the two of them carefully searched for the place where the prisoners were being held. The guards on the ancient ship were not strict. Perhaps it was because the people from the Evil Dragon Palace were too confident. Of course, the other reason was that this was a ship that escorted prisoners. The most worthless thing was human life. Even if they worked hard to take down this ship, they wouldn't gain anything. Therefore, those pirate kings who roamed the seas were not interested in such a ship. There was a passage on the deck that led to the dungeon. It was pitch black and extended all the way down to a very deep place. It was sealed by a restriction. After Lin Feng broke through the restriction, he entered the dungeon with the evil Dominator Saint. Then, he restored the restriction to its original state. The dungeon was very dark, and there were many people gathered there. There were old people, women, and children. Most of them were men. Some of the powerful cultivators had their limbs bound by restrictive chains, so they were no different from ordinary people. No one would pay attention to Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint who appeared in the dungeon. 2 hours later, the ship that was escorting the prisoners had already arrived at the evil Dragon Island. Then, Lin Feng heard a loud rumbling sound. The door to the evil Dragon Island must have been opened. Following that, hundreds of evil Dragon Palace cultivators entered the dungeon, holding whips, urging the prisoners inside to leave. If anyone walked too slowly, they would be whipped a few times. Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint blended into the crowd. After they came out, Lin Feng discovered that the huge ship had entered a huge castle. This huge castle should be the evil Dragon Devil Prison. The entire evil Dragon Devil Prison was enveloped in a cold and terrifying aura. Too many people had died here, and the resentment was too strong. Some ordinary people walked out of the dungeon and hugged their heads, screaming miserably. Ordinary people or weaker cultivators couldn't withstand the terrifying resentment here. They went crazy. "Throw these crazy people into the purgatory furnace," a tall middle-aged cultivator with a malicious gaze said. "Yes, Lord Deputy Warden." Immediately, many cultivators rushed out, grabbed those who had gone mad, and threw them into a huge furnace not far away. The furnace covered dozens of acres of land and was about 1,000 meters deep. Inside it was burning with hellfire. Many people were thrown into the furnace and were immediately burned to ashes. Chapter 21:13. The Purgatory Furnace was built according to the Inferno Hell of the 18 layers of Hell. It was also the first layer of the 18 layers of Hell. The souls of those who died in the Purgatory Furnace were not destroyed. Instead, they were devoured by a distorted black hole floating in the furnace. No one knew where they were devoured. "Hurry up and get in. Don't dawdle!" The prison guard scolded loudly with a whip in his hand. Those who could not withstand the resentment here were thrown into the Purgatory Furnace. Those who could withstand the resentment here were escorted to the lower layer by the prison guards. "Lord Deputy Warden, our mission is complete. We'll take our leave first," the captain of the ancient ship that escorted the prisoners said. The deputy warden nodded but did not say anything. He turned around and walked inside. "What the hell? He's just a deputy warden. How dare he put on airs in front of me?" the captain muttered to himself. Then, he called for the cultivators on the ship to board and leave. After the ancient ship left the ancient city, the captain suddenly hugged his head. The captain let out an incomparably shrill scream. His head slammed into a pillar next to him. Bang! His head exploded. The captain of the ship immediately died. "Captain, what happened to you? Captain, you died so miserably. Make way! The deputy captain is here. Let him see what happened!" The cultivators outside shouted. Inside the ancient castle, the deputy warden was looking at the ancient ship leaving through the window. The corners of his mouth curled up into a sinister smile. Soon, Lin Feng and the others were brought to the second underground layer. There were a large number of guards guarding the first and second underground layers. There was no lack of experts among the guards. Their eyes were like torches, causing the prisoners to tremble in fear. Lin Feng and the others were placed in the prison on the second underground layer. These cages were not simple. They were all made of divine iron that restricted magic. The cultivators trapped in them would lose all their magic power. After Lin Feng and the heretic Dominator Saint were locked up, they found that they could no longer circulate their magic power. Now, Lin Feng finally understood why so many experts were trapped in the evil Dragon Devil prison without being able to resist. It turned out that the cages in the evil dragon devil prison were all made from forbidden divine stones. When a cultivator's magic power was sealed, it was equivalent to pulling out a tiger's fangs. The threat was greatly reduced. Some of the more powerful cultivators were even chained up by the restrictive chains. There was even less of a way to resist. "Let us out! Why are you capturing us?" A few dozen cultivators shouted. They punched the cage again and again, but the cage didn't budge. Naturally, the cage made from the forbidden divine stone was extremely sturdy. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens if one wanted to break through with their physical strength alone. "The evil dragon palace has captured many innocent cultivators. Since they have been captured, it can only mean that you are unlucky. Save your energy. Don't waste your time. If you're imprisoned here, you can't get out," an old cultivator said coolly. The cultivators were naturally unwilling to give up. They continued punching the cage, trying to break it open. Lin Feng sat down next to the old cultivator and said, "Senior, the purgatory furnace in the first layer of the evil dragon devil prison seems to be a furnace that appeared in the inferno prison. It can burn a cultivator's soul and make them suffer a fate worse than death. Could it be that the evil dragon devil prison is related to hell?" The old cultivator glanced at Lin Feng and said, "Little brother, you're quite knowledgeable. From what I know, the evil dragon devil prison isn't simple. It's based on the 18 layers of hell. The first layer of hell is the inferno prison. The purgatory furnace in the evil dragon devil prison is based on the purgatory furnace that appeared in the inferno prison. The second layer of hell is called the tendon extraction prison. In this layer, a cultivator's body will be cut open and their tendons will be pulled out. They will die in endless pain. There were even more: dark waste prison, capital prison, tongue-pulling prison, skin-stripping prison, torture prison, destruction prison, carriage-breaking prison, shell-breaking prison, intestine-extracting prison, blood-pool prison, scale-pole prison, oil-pot prison, darkness prison, blade mountain prison, ice prison, Avicii prison. The further down you go, the more terrifying it is. The punishment will also be more painful. The more severe the torture before death, the stronger the resentment will be. After death, the evil ghosts and evil spirits formed will be even stronger. In order to collect enough evil ghosts and evil spirits, the evil dragon palace followed the pattern of the 18 layers of hell and built this huge evil dragon devil prison. They're really vicious. Over the years, who knows how many billions of people have died here." The old cultivator sighed. Lin Feng said, "I heard that the evil dragon palace killed so many people to raise evil ghosts and evil spirits to refine evil magical treasures. However, after so many years, they should have refined enough evil magical treasures. Why does the evil dragon palace keep killing so many people to raise evil ghosts and evil spirits? Refining evil magical treasures is just a pretense. The evil dragon palace's real purpose in raising evil ghosts and evil spirits is to feed an ancient evil weapon," the old cultivator said. "An ancient evil weapon?" Lin Feng was surprised. He didn't know about ancient killing weapons. In the depths of the sky ring he had obtained in the Wu Yuan immortal abode, there was an ancient killing weapon locked in 18 chains. It was said that a light strike from the ancient killing weapon could destroy a great world. One had to know. 9 provinces. After all, it was just a great world. From this, one could see how terrifying ancient killing weapons were. Now another ancient evil weapon had appeared. Lin Feng felt that it was not simple. "What kind of weapon is an ancient evil weapon?" Lin Feng asked. The old cultivator said, "Ancient evil weapons have a long history. It is said that when the heavens and earth were created, some special energies were born between heaven and earth, such as killing intent, evil chi, demonic chi, and immortal chi. By chance, these special energies fused with some divine stones and immortal metals formed between heaven and earth. Thus, these special energies changed the internal structure of these divine stones and immortal metals. After a long period of nurturing, these divine stones and immortal metals fused with these special energies turned into the most terrifying killing weapons, such as ancient killing weapons, ancient evil weapons, ancient demonic weapons, and ancient immortal weapons. These weapons are extremely rare, and after so many great changes, many ancient weapons have been destroyed. Thus, it is very rare to see such ancient weapons now. However, it is said that the 9 evil dragons obtained an ancient evil weapon. Hiss! Lin Feng could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. He said, "The 9 evil dragons have an ancient evil weapon? Isn't that too terrifying?" The old cultivator sneered and said, "However, I believe that the ancient evil weapon controls the 9 evil dragons' fate. The 9 evil dragons are actually slaves of the ancient evil weapon." Chapter 21:14. It didn't matter if it was the 9 evil dragons controlling the ancient evil artifact, or the ancient evil artifact controlling the 9 evil dragons. This couldn't change the fate of countless people being imprisoned in the evil dragon devil prison. Ta 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 ta! At this moment, footsteps came from outside. Following that, over 100 prison guards walked over. These prison guards held whips in their hands and opened the cages one by one. "Come out! Quickly come out!" The prison guard shouted loudly. "We don't want to go out! We don't want to die!" Many people began to plead. "Pa pa pa!" The prison guards directly lashed out with their whips. Those whips weren't ordinary whips. They were extremely powerful magic treasures. They whipped their bodies. Their skin and flesh were torn apart. The pain seeped into their bones. Many people couldn't bear it, and screamed miserably. They scrambled to their feet and walked out. Then, they were escorted away by the prison guards. "Why are you capturing us? Let us out!" The dozens of cultivators who were escorted in with Lin Feng shouted loudly. These people might not know that this place was the evil dragon devil prison. They didn't know why they were captured and imprisoned in this cold and gloomy place. This kind of person was the kind of person who was a calamity from the heavens. They didn't have any grudges with the evil dragon palace. But they were captured by the evil dragon palace and refined into evil spirits. "You want to come out, right? I'll fulfill your wish." The prison guard leader laughed sinisterly. He waved his hand and said, "Release all of these people." "Yes, Lord." Immediately, the prison guards opened the door for these cultivators. At this moment, these cultivators seemed to have noticed that something was wrong. One by one, they quickly retreated. They hurriedly said, "We're not going out! We're not going out!" The prison guards laughed sinisterly. "You're the one who said it, and you're the one who doesn't want to come out. Are you making fun of us, brothers? Beat them! Pa pa pa!" After he finished speaking, the prison guards directly picked up the whips in their hands and lashed out at the group of people. When these whips hit their bodies, their skin and flesh were torn apart. They were all light injuries. Their internal organs were injured. It was normal for their bones to be broken. "Spare us, spare us! Don't hit us anymore. If you hit us again, we'll die. Spare us, we won't dare to do it again." The group of people loudly begged for mercy. "Get out! Didn't you hear me?" The prison guards began to curse. The group of cultivators no longer dared to stay in the cage. These prison guards were simply too cruel. They went out one after another and were taken away by the prison guards. "The bird that sticks out gets shot. These juniors don't know how terrifying this place is, and now they're going to lose their lives." The old cultivator sighed. Those people were obviously being taken away to be tortured. He would be tortured to death by the prison guards here. A great deal of resentment was generated at the last moment. Not long after, the originally cathartic cage became quiet again. The people who were imprisoned here all had a lifeless look. Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint stood up and walked towards the entrance of the cage. "Break him apart," Lin Feng said. The evil Dominator Saint nodded. His cultivation was cultivated by the Emperor Corpse. His physical body was powerful. The evil Dominator Saint grabbed the bars of the cage with both hands. Then, he used all his strength to break it apart. "No, I can't break it open," the evil Dominator Saint said. Lin Feng said, "You and I will each take one side. The evil Dominator Saint nodded and grabbed one of the bars with both hands. Lin Feng grabbed the other one with both hands. The two of them used their strength at the same time and tried to break it open. Two more crazy people! The old cultivator couldn't help but roll his eyes when he saw Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint being forced to break open the bars. As far as he was concerned, this was simply an impossible task. Those iron fences were all made of forbidden divine stones. Now, everyone's magic power had been sealed. Could it be that Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint wanted to rely on their physical strength to break open the bars? Wasn't this just a daydream? Look! Suddenly, the old cultivator heard many exclamations from the surrounding people. He looked towards Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint and saw. The bars were really being forced open by Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint. Seeing this scene, the old cultivator was dumbfounded. Lin Feng made a shushing gesture and said, "Friends, please be quiet for a moment. Don't alarm the prison guards outside." Hearing Lin Feng's words, everyone quickly shut up and didn't dare to make a sound. If they alarmed the prison guards outside, then all their efforts would be wasted. Lin Feng continued, "I understand everyone's feelings of wanting to escape from the evil dragon devil prison, but with just a few of us, it's impossible to escape from the heavily guarded evil dragon devil prison. So later on, let's go to the lower level. When we're there, we'll snatch the keys to the various prisons and release the imprisoned cultivators. It's best if we can release all the imprisoned cultivators. That way, the entire evil dragon devil prison will be in chaos. At that time, we'll fight against the prison guards together, and we'll definitely be able to escape." All the cultivators hurriedly nodded, obviously agreeing with Lin Feng's suggestion. Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint pried open the bars of the prison, creating a 40 centimeters gap. It was easy for them to squeeze out from the side. After Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint went out, the rest of the people also came out from the gap. Then, Lin Feng and the evil Dominator Saint did the same. The iron bars of over 100 prisons in the second floor of the underground prison were all broken, and all the prisoners were released. Ordinary people or weak cultivators were already thrown into the purgatory furnace because they couldn't withstand the invasion of resentment. So the cultivators imprisoned in the second level were all very powerful. There were about 20,000 people in total. "Let's go! Kill those bastards outside!" Lin Feng waved his hand and led everyone to charge out. The dragon elephant arm activated. Bang! Lin Feng punched the prison door and sent it flying. More than 10 of the jailers who were guarding outside were smashed to death by the flying gate. Before the rest of them could understand what was going on, they were already killed by the prisoners who rushed out. "Not good, all the prisoners have escaped." A prison guard in the distance saw the situation here and immediately shouted. Swish! Just as the prison guard's voice fell, a black shadow appeared behind him. The black shadow's right hand grabbed the prison guard's neck from behind and directly broke his neck. Then the black shadow appeared. It turned out to be an extremely tall woman. She seemed to be able to turn herself into a black shadow and hide herself silently. Her method was very strange. But the prison guard's shout just now still attracted the attention of many prison guards and patrolling guards in the distance. The densely packed prison guards and guards quickly rushed over. "When I came in, I already observed clearly. The keys to unlock the restriction chains on your bodies are in the hall in front. Let's snatch the keys and help you unlock the restriction chains," Lin Feng said aloud. Many powerful cultivators here were locked up by the restriction chains and couldn't use their magic power. So only by unlocking the restriction chains could they display their powerful combat strength. "Okay!" The cultivators who were locked up by the restriction chains shouted in unison. "Follow me and kill them!" shouted Lin Feng furiously while moving forwards. Behind them was a massive army of 20,000 prisoners. Together, they charged towards the devil prison guards and jailers. Chapter 21:15. Bang, bang, bang! Both sides clashed in close combat. Lin Feng displayed his might and sent more than a dozen people flying with a single punch. The power of the dragon elephant arm was indeed powerful. On the other side, the evil Dominator Saint also displayed his might. Poison surged, and many guards and jailers did not even have time to react. All of them had been poisoned and were killed by the cultivators who swarmed them. Under Lin Feng's lead, the cultivators rushed to the palace in front of them and took the key. Then, they unlocked the restriction chains. "Kill your way to the 3rd floor!" Lin Feng roared and rushed towards the stairs. "Kill! Kill all these damn guards and jailers! I want to eat their flesh and blood raw!" Many prisoners roared, their faces full of malevolence. Many people's relatives, friends, lovers, and fellow sect members had died in the evil dragon devil prison. Therefore, these people hated the evil dragon devil prison. Naturally, they also hated the guards and jailers in the evil dragon devil prison. There were a lot of guards and jailers stationed on the 2nd floor, about 10,000 of them. However, compared to the prisoners, the number was still much lower. The two sides fought each other, and it could be said to be incomparably tragic. There were constantly people being killed. There were prisoners being killed, jailers being killed, and guards being killed. "Rebellion! Rebellion! Quickly go up and report to the deputy warden!" The guard commander on the 2nd floor shouted loudly. Swish! Lin Feng waved his hand. Formation runes intertwined. They directly sealed off the 2nd floor. Soon, the guards and jailers found that they could not go out, nor could they send out the news. Puff! 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 Lin Feng led a group of experts to attack the stairs from the 2nd floor to the 3rd floor. This place was heavily guarded. But under the attack of Lin Feng and the others, the line of defense was quickly broken. Lin Feng and the others rushed to the 3rd floor. After entering the 3rd floor, the first thing he did was to seal the 3rd floor with formation runes. The guards and jailers here could not send the news up. "Go and snatch the key!" Lin Feng shouted as he went straight to the palace where the key was stored. "Not good, the prisoners are rioting, quickly kill these people!" When the guard captain of the 3rd underground floor noticed the sudden appearance of these prisoners, his expression changed drastically. He led a group of experts to attack Lin Feng and the others. The evil Dominator Saint led a group of prisoners and charged towards the guards. The poisonous fog churned. A large number of guards were enveloped by the poison. Then, these people let out incomparably mournful and tragic cries of pain. A large number of cultivators were poisoned, greatly reducing their combat strength. Under the leadership of Du Zhu, the prisoner and the guards were engaged in a fierce battle. Lin Feng, on the other hand, led another group of prisoners and engaged in a fierce battle with the prison guards. Whoosh! 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 A black shadow was jumping around rapidly. Puff! 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 Along with the sound of something being torn apart. One by one, the jailers' necks were slit open, and blood gushed out. Then, the jailers' bodies fell limply to the ground. It was the woman who could transform into a ball of darkness. Her methods were extremely strange. Die! 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 Roars could be heard. Bang, bang, bang! A 3-meter-tall man who looked like a golden iron tower waved his huge fist, and one punch was enough to kill several jailers. He was a cultivator of the ancient human race, a very rare race. Like the cannibals of the ancient human race, they were an extremely ancient race. Bang, bang, bang! Lin Feng was even more ferocious. His dragon elephant arm was invincible, and anyone who dared to block his way was killed. There were not many jailers. There were about 1,000 of them. Most of them were killed, and a small number of them were barely able to resist the attacks of the prisoners. Then, Lin Feng and the others obtained the key and quickly went to open the cages. Ha ha ha, we're free. We're finally going to see the light of day again. Kill the guards and damned jailers in the evil dragon devil prison. Many of the prisoners had sinister smiles on their faces as they quickly pounced on the guards and jailers around them. Basement 4. Basement 5. Basement 6. Basement 7. Basement 8. Basement 9. Basement 10. Basement 11. Layer after layer of prisoners were released. The entire devil prison became extremely chaotic. There were battles between prisoners and guards or prisoners and jailers everywhere. At this time, the riot below was discovered. The deputy warden's expression changed drastically when he heard the news. These damned prisoners should be thrown into the Avicii devil prison to suffer endless pain. Quick, gather the garrison and enter the devil prison to suppress the riot. The deputy warden said in a deep voice. There were 500,000 soldiers stationed on the evil Dragon Island. Every level of the devil prison was guarded by 10,000 soldiers, and the security was tight. These people were enough to suppress the riot. When Lin Feng opened the 12th level of the devil prison, he discovered the Umbra Void Beast. Master, you've come to save us. The Umbra Void Beast was extremely excited when it saw Lin Feng. Where's Duzu? Lin Feng asked. Duzu is trapped in the devil prison of frost. The Umbra Void Beast said. Duzu had a strong poison. The threat was too great. He was sealed in the devil prison of frost. That was indeed the best method. The devil prison of frost was on the 17th level. When Lin Feng, the heretic sovereign sage, and the Umbra Void Beast arrived at the 13th level of the staircase, a huge battle had already broken out. Numerous prisoners and guards were engaged in a fierce battle. The battle was extremely intense. Some of the prisoners rushed to the 14th level. There's a passage to leave below the 18th level. Let's go to the 18th level, a prisoner shouted. Many of the prisoners were excited. It was a massacre. Above them, the deputy warden had already led the army into the devil prison to suppress the riot. Many prisoners were killed or captured. Many of them rushed down when they saw the army arrive. Lin Feng and the others fought their way to the 16th level. When they reached the 17th level, 9 cultivators appeared at the entrance of the staircase. Other places were garrisoned with large numbers of soldiers, but here, there were only 9 people guarding the staircase to the 17th level. Obviously, these 9 people were not simple characters. Everyone, let's end it here. If you obediently return to your cells, you can still live for a while. If you want to force your way in, only death awaits you. A demonic man standing at the front said with a sinister smile. There are so many of us. What are we afraid of? Let's kill the 9 of them. A prisoner shouted. Then, that prisoner rushed over. Let's go together. Over 100 prisoners rushed over together. They wanted to kill the 9 people blocking their way. He, let me deal with them. Among them, a woman with an enchanting and hot figure wearing a leather jacket and pants walked out. Charming eyes! The woman laughed coquettishly, and a strange light flashed in her eyes. Suddenly, the hundreds of cultivators all stood on the spot, their eyes filled with confusion. Kill them! The enchanting woman pointed at Lin Feng and the others behind her. Kill! The hundreds of prisoners turned around and charged at Lin Feng and the others. Chapter 21:16. These people are being controlled. Kill them all! Lin Feng roared as he charged toward the prisoners. Now, it was either you die or I die, so there was no room for any mercy from either side. Bam! The 2 sides immediately clashed. Lin Feng had more than 2,000 people on his side. It was not difficult for him to kill these prisoners. That girl over there, go deal with that witch! Lin Feng looked at the black-robed woman with strange means. The name of the seductive eyes that the seductive woman used was a type of bewitchment technique. This type of bewitchment technique was usually only effective on male cultivators. It was not effective on female cultivators. The black-robed woman on Lin Feng's side was very strong. She might not be able to defeat the seductive woman. However, she definitely had the strength to fight. The black-robed woman nodded slightly. Then, she turned into a black shadow and charged toward the seductive woman. Kid! It seems that you are the one who set these people free, right? The seductive man walked toward Lin Feng. A cold and terrifying aura emanated from the man's body. Your hands are not stained with the blood of nameless people. Who are you? Tell me your name! Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. You can call me Darkness Emissary. The seductive man laughed sinisterly. Then, he turned into a black ray of light and charged toward Lin Feng. His speed was simply too fast. He was so fast that many people could not see his movements clearly. He clenched his hands into claws. Then, he reached for Lin Feng's neck as fast as lightning. Humph! Lin Feng sneered. The Darkness Emissary was fast, but he was not slow either. Facing the Darkness Emissary's claw, Lin Feng raised his right hand and punched out. Bang! A muffled sound of collision was heard. Lin Feng and the Darkness Emissary collided. Both of them were forced to retreat. On the other side, one of the 9 experts with a burly figure had turned into a giant bear. This was an expert of the Brown Bear clan, who could change the appearance of his body through the art of transformation. It was able to transform into something that was neither human nor bear. Its battle prowess was abnormally strong. The strong cultivator from the Brown Bear clan and the strong cultivator from the ancient human clan started fighting. Swoosh! Among the 9 experts, a skinny middle-aged cultivator with a haggard face was fighting the evil Dominator Saint. That cultivator was also a powerful corpse cultivator. He was locked in battle with the evil Dominator Saint. Ha 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 ha, go to hell, go to hell! There were also 5 experts, each more ferocious than the last. They charged into the crowd as if they had entered a no-man's land. It was a one-sided massacre. A large number of cultivators were killed. Dark Sword Ocean! The Dark Emissary stepped forward, his voice cold. Behind him, an ancient ocean appeared. In that ocean, they were huge swords. There were countless huge swords. No one knew how many there were. It seemed to be endless. The Dark Sword Ocean shrouded over, and endless huge swords blasted towards Lin Feng. Defensive wall! Lin Feng's expression was indifferent as he condensed a defensive crystal wall with the great defense technique. Clang! 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 The huge swords bombarded the defensive crystal wall. There was a series of clanging sounds. However, these huge swords were unable to break the defensive crystal wall formed by Lin Feng. Lin Feng raised his right hand and punched the air in front of him. Above his fist, there was a huge ball of lightning circling around it. This was the lightning ball condensed by the Great Thunderclap technique. Bang! The ball of lightning exploded, shattering the dark sea of swords into pieces. The energy generated by the explosion surged towards the Dark Emissary. The Dark Emissary sneered. You're quite capable! He waved his right hand gently in the air. In an instant, a dark space was faintly discernible. That dark space. It directly devoured all the energy. Then, the dark space enveloped Lin Feng, wanting to devour Lin Feng as well. I come from hell. I control billions of souls in the world. I am the underworld emissary. I collect the lives of all living beings in the world. The Dark Emissary's voice was cold. Then, the dark space enveloped him. Lin Feng smiled icily. You're just trying to act mysterious. Let's see how I'll destroy your dark space. As soon as his voice faded, Lin Feng punched out 3 times in a row. Bang! 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 The power of the arm of the dragon elephant was extremely terrifying. The 3 punches swept across the dark space. The dark space was directly shattered. Then, Lin Feng quickly rushed forward, arrived in front of the Dark Emissary in an instant, and punched at the Dark Emissary. Humph! The Dark Emissary could not help but snort coldly. Around him, dense dark runes appeared. This was a type of defensive rune, and it was very powerful. He wanted to use this defensive rune to block Lin Feng's attack. However, Lin Feng's arm of the dragon elephant was too powerful, and it directly shattered the rune. The Dark Emissary's expression did not change. This was an extremely powerful existence. Therefore, in the face of any situation, he could calmly face it. Facing Lin Feng's attack, he also threw out a punch. Bang! The two sides collided. Fist against fist. A dull sound of collision was heard. You! The dark emissary's expression suddenly changed. He noticed that something was wrong. The next moment, the dark emissary's body began to age. Great reincarnation technique! The dark emissary was experienced and knowledgeable, and he coldly spat out a few words. Then, he quickly retreated. It's too late to retreat now! Lin Feng's voice was cold as he quickly chased after the dark emissary. By the time Lin Feng arrived in front of the dark emissary's body turned into a cloud of black gas and dissipated. It was too strange. Lin Feng did not care about the dark emissary who escaped. He quickly rushed toward the stairs leading to the 17th floor underground. Kid, go to hell! Two strong cultivators were rushing towards Lin Feng while smiling coldly. They wanted to stop him. Get lost! Lin Feng coldly shouted and threw out 2 punches in a row, sending the 2 experts flying. Go! Lin Feng shouted in a deep voice. The evil Dominator Saint and the others got rid of their opponents one after another and followed Lin Feng to the 17th floor underground. Lord! They went in! An expert said with a gloomy expression. It doesn't matter! Anyway, going in is suicide! The dark emissary returned to his youthful appearance and said with a gloomy expression. Charge! More and more cultivators rushed over from afar and began to attack the defense line. At this moment, Lin Feng and hundreds of people had already entered the 17th floor underground. This was the Ice Devil Prison, which was built based on the Ice Hell. After entering here, everyone only had one feeling. That was cold. Crack! 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 One by one, the cultivators were unable to withstand the cold, and were directly sealed in ice. Chapter 21:17. Unlike other places, the fiendish ice prison was too cold. There were basically no guards or prison guards around. Lin Feng estimated that the temperature here had reached -30,000 to -40,000 degrees Celsius. Even cultivators in such a cold place would find it difficult to withstand the cold. Only those cultivators who were extremely powerful or had cultivated ice attribute cultivation methods or divine abilities could withstand such cold temperatures. In the blink of an eye, there were still over 20 people who were not frozen. However, the temperature here was too low. Even the remaining 20 or so people were shivering from the cold. It was obviously not realistic to stay in the fiendish ice prison for a long time. This place is too cold. Let's quickly find the passageway to the 18th floor, a cultivator said. The 17th floor was rather special. It was snowing heavily here, and it was more like a dense forest. It was obvious that this place had long become an independent space. Many cultivators spread out to search for the passageway to the 18th floor. Lin Feng, the evil sovereign saint, and the Umbra Void Beast were looking for the cages. Master, look over there! The Umbra Void Beast pointed at a mountain peak in the distance. Lin Feng and the other 2 quickly walked over and discovered that there were many cages at the foot of the mountain. There were some prisoners imprisoned in the cages. However, many of them were frozen in ice. Lin Feng activated the dragon elephant arm and smashed open the iron bars of a cage with a punch. Then, he entered the cage and extended his hand to touch the prisoner who was sitting cross-legged inside the cage, sealed in ice. Bang! A terrifying scene unfolded. The frozen body of the prisoner immediately shattered. The temperature is too low. After being frozen, the body can't withstand it. Therefore, the body is completely frozen. Lin Feng couldn't help but frown slightly. Then, he broke open many more cages. However, Lin Feng didn't find Du Zhu's whereabouts. Furthermore, everyone who had been imprisoned here had all died. Not a single person survived. Is it possible that the poison ancestor is imprisoned in the 18th floor? Lin Feng said. The Umbra Void Beast said. I sensed Du Zhu's divine sense earlier. He said that he was imprisoned in the fiendish frost prison. He can't be wrong. Hurry up and run! Suddenly, cries of shock rang out from afar. Tens of cultivators ran out from the forest in a panic. Rumble! The earth trembled violently. Immediately after, giant beasts rushed out one after another. Those giant beasts were about 15 to 16 meters long and 10 meters tall. Its entire body was snow-white. It looked like a tiger or a lion, but its head was like a dragon's head, with black wings on its back. He was as fast as lightning. There were more than 100 such beasts in total. The speed of these ferocious beasts was extremely fast, and they quickly caught up with the fleeing cultivators. Bang, bang, bang! The ferocious beasts swung their huge claws at the fleeing cultivators. The cultivators who fled had extraordinary cultivation bases. However, when they collided with the ferocious beasts, they were directly slapped away by the ferocious beasts. Bang, bang, bang! The fleshly bodies of the cultivators who were sent flying directly exploded in midair. They died on the spot. Those are the black-winged dracolic, a type of ferocious beast that has long been extinct in the outside world. There are more than 100 of them here. The demon lord was shocked. A ferocious beast that could shock the demon lord was definitely not simple. At this moment, several black-winged dracolic pounced over. Lin Feng threw a punch at one of the black-winged dracolic. However, before Lin Feng's punch could land on the black-winged dracolic, he discovered that his body had started to freeze. Bang! The next moment, Lin Feng was sent flying by the black-winged dracolic. Lin Feng's physical body was strong enough that he was not killed by the attack. However, this attack caused his blood to churn, and he almost coughed up a mouthful of blood. These black-winged dracolic were too powerful. They were simply undefeatable. On the other side, the evil sovereign saint was also entangled. He was besieged by 3 black-winged dracolic and encountered quite a bit of trouble. As for the shadow void beast, it was simply unable to contend against the black-winged dracolic. The reason why he was able to withstand the cold here was because he cultivated a type of ice sacred art. In reality, the shadow void beast's strength was not particularly strong. If he was really hit by the black-winged dracolic's claws, he would definitely die. Lin Feng dispersed the ice on his body and quickly rushed towards the shadow void beast. He punched the black-winged dracolic that was attacking the shadow void beast. Then, he kept the shadow void beast into the mountain river ring. There's no way to fight against these black-winged dracolic. Let's go! Lin Feng said in a deep voice. The evil sovereign saint broke out of the encirclement and ran into the distance with Lin Feng. As for the rest of the cultivators, they were all killed by the black-winged dracolic. Over 100 black-winged dracolic began to chase after Lin Feng and the evil sovereign saint. Not long after, Lin Feng saw the black-clothed woman and the ancient human cultivator surrounded by a dozen black-winged dracolic. The two were in big trouble. Lin Feng and the evil sovereign saint rushed over and each of them sent a black-winged dracolic flying. The black-clothed woman and the ancient human cultivator quickly rushed out of the encirclement. The rest of the black-winged dracolic roared in anger. They all pounced, and over 100 black-winged dracolic chased after them. Seeing this, the 4 of them turned pale with fright and turned to run. 2 hours later, Lin Feng and the others felt that their speed was getting slower and slower. This place was too cold, and their bodies were gradually unable to take it. There's a bottomless hole in the depths. I don't know where it leads to. Should we go in and hide? The black-clothed woman said. She had discovered that bottomless hole by chance, but the aura was very eerie, so she didn't dare to go in recklessly. But now that they were in danger, she thought of the bottomless hole. Perhaps they could use the bottomless hole to get rid of the black-winged dracolic. Let's go and take a look, Lin Feng said. The black-clothed woman led the way. Everyone quickly rushed into the depths, and it didn't take long for them to see the bottomless hole. Inside the cave, a chilling and terrifying aura emanated from it. It made the 4 of them shudder. They didn't know what kind of danger was hidden in the hole. Roar! Behind them, roars shook the sky. A group of black-winged dracolic pounced on them. Forget it, let's go in and take a look. Maybe we can reach the next level, Lin Feng said. The other 3 nodded. This was the only way, even though they didn't know if they would survive in the hole. But if they stayed in the demonic frost prison, death was the only way out. Whoosh, 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 the four of them quickly rushed into the hole. Roar, roar, roar! Over 100 black-winged Dracolics stood outside the hole and roared in anger. However, the black-winged Dracolic didn't chase them into the hole. Moreover, the black-winged Dracolic looked at the hole with fear in their eyes. Chapter 21:18. The four of them carefully made their way down. Thud, 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 thud. Apart from their footsteps, there seemed to be no other sound. Everyone looked around warily. Everyone used their divine senses to explore, but they found that this place was actually hindering their divine senses. At most, their divine senses could only detect the situation a dozen meters away. This made everyone's expression become more serious. This place was strange enough, but it actually suppressed their divine senses. If there was any danger, it would be very difficult to detect it in advance. The only thing they were thankful for was that although the cave was pitch black, Lin Feng and the others were strong enough to see in the dark. It was not a problem for them to see 1,000 meters away. Crack, crack! Suddenly, the sound of bones cracking came from under their feet. The four of them looked down. Sure enough, they found some bones scattered on the ground. They were golden bones of an unknown race. They had been dead for many years, and only their bones were left. It seems that there were other cultivators who entered this cave like us, but they died here. Lin Feng frowned slightly. The others nodded. The woman in black said, "We didn't find anything special along the way." Lin Feng said, "Indeed, we didn't find anything strange, but that's exactly why something is wrong. Don't you think that this place is too quiet?" The four of them couldn't help but frown. When they heard Lin Feng's words, everybody realized that the cave was a bit too quiet. After walking for so long, they didn't encounter any danger. It was too strange. A place like this shouldn't be so quiet. "It's better to be careful," Lin Feng said. The others nodded. The four of them continued to walk down, ever since they found the first skeleton. On the way, Lin Feng and the others found more skeletons. However, they still didn't encounter any danger. This passage was too long. Lin Feng and the others walked for about a day and a night before they saw a huge mountain in front of them. The mountain was pitch black. Moreover, this mountain was extremely strange. Not only did it affect their divine senses, even their visibility was suppressed by a strange force. Originally, Lin Feng and the others could see 1,000 meters away, but after entering the mountain, they couldn't even see their own fingers. This mountain seemed to be very deep. After Lin Feng and the others entered, they felt their bodies constantly falling. When he landed on the ground, he heard the sound of something cracking. It was as if they had stepped on a pile of fragile things. Lin Feng had many deep-sea luminous pearls on him that could illuminate the place. He took out the deep-sea luminous pearls from his mountain river ring. Then he scattered them around him. The originally pitch-black belly of the mountain suddenly brightened up. Heavens, a mountain of bones! At that moment, Lin Feng and the others couldn't help but gasp. Beneath their feet, there was actually a mountain of corpses. Who knew how many people had died here? The four of them quickly levitated into the air. Squeak! At this moment, a series of strange noises could be heard. This sound. It was like the sound of a ghost grinding its teeth. It was extremely demonic. It was eerie. Look, there are so many spiders on the rock wall. The woman in black pointed at the rock wall above. Lin Feng, the evil dominator saint, and the human cultivators in the wilderness all looked over. They immediately saw. There were spiders crawling on the rock wall. Those spiders were 7 or 8 meters long. They were all giant spiders. And those spiders had huge wings. Their 8 claws were like 8 sharp spears. With a light strike, they could pierce through all obstacles. The most creepy thing was that those spiders had ugly human heads on their abdomens. Pairs of resentful eyes looked at Lin Feng and the others. What kind of monster is this? The human cultivator in the wilderness felt his scalp go numb. He had seen many kinds of spiders, but this was the first time he had seen such a huge, ugly spider with wings and a human head. Human-headed double-winged evil god spider, this is a type of spider that disappeared a long, long time ago. It's extremely terrifying. I never thought that it would actually appear in this place. I'm guessing that the evil dragon palace's people must have obtained spider eggs and thus bred these terrifying spiders. Everyone be careful, these spiders' attacks are extremely powerful. Furthermore, these spiders contain a highly toxic poison. Don't be poisoned, Lin Feng said in a low voice. Hearing this, the others nodded. Screech! Suddenly, an ear-piercing screech rang out. The densely packed human-headed winged evil god spiders let out a screech. This screech was a terrifying soul attack. A soul attack from a single human-headed twin-winged evil god spider might not be able to cause too much damage to the group, but with so many human-headed twin-winged evil god spiders, there was no telling how many of them there were. Naturally, their soul attacks were incomparably terrifying. Lin Feng and the other three instantly suffered great damage. They hugged their heads, feeling as though their heads were about to split open. Lin Feng hurriedly activated Lu Ye's stargazing chart. Only then did he manage to block the soul attack of the human-headed winged evil god spiders. At this moment, the human-headed winged evil god spiders spat out spider webs that wrapped around Lin Feng and the other three. The human-headed winged evil god spiders' attacks came one after another. First, they used soul attacks to cause Lin Feng and the other three to sink into unbearable pain. Then, they used spider webs to wrap around Lin Feng and the other three. At that time, they would be able to instantly kill the four of them. This plan could be said to be flawless. But Lin Feng had blocked the soul attack of the human-headed winged evil god spiders. When the spider webs wrapped around them, Lin Feng directly released his heavenly flames. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Four heavenly flames flew out, turning the entire mountain into a world of flames. The spider webs spat out by the human-headed winged evil god spiders were all burned to ashes. Some of the human-headed winged evil god spiders were engulfed by the heavenly flames and their bodies were set ablaze. They let out agonized cries. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, the horde of human-headed winged evil god spiders rapidly pounced towards Lin Feng and the other three. Fortunately, the heretic sovereign sage, the woman in black, and the human cultivators in the wilderness had recovered. Be careful! Lin Feng shouted in a low voice. He took out the regal sword mound. 4 treasured swords flew out from the regal sword mound. Then, they charged towards the human-headed winged evil god spiders that were pouncing towards them. Poof! Poof! Following a series of ripping sounds, the human-headed winged evil god spiders were killed by the 4 treasured swords. But there were simply too many human-headed winged evil god spiders. The overwhelming horde of human-headed winged evil god spiders pounced towards Lin Feng. From the mountain of corpses below, several enormous human-headed winged evil god spiders emerged. They leaped up and charged towards Lin Feng. Chapter 21:19. Seeing the human-headed winged evil god spiders fly up, Lin Feng raised his right hand and slapped down. Instantly, wisps of destructive power burst out from it. Bam bam bam. The human-headed winged evil god spiders were sent flying and their bodies exploded in midair. These human-headed winged evil god spiders were very afraid of the heavenly fire. Lin Feng's heavenly fire burned many of the human-headed winged evil god spiders to death. On the other side, the evil dominator saint displayed his might. His physical body was strong and he was completely unafraid of the venom of the human-headed winged evil god spiders. Therefore, the evil dominator saint was unstoppable. His sharp corpse claws clawed at the human-headed winged evil god spiders. The sound of something being torn apart could be heard. The human-headed winged evil god spiders were torn apart by the evil dominator saint. The black-robed woman's methods were as strange as ever. She was like a ghost. She was silent, and she held a dagger that radiated with cold air. With a light wave of the dagger, she could slash out a frightening cold light. The black-robed woman wielded the dagger, and killed the human-headed winged evil god spiders one by one. The human cultivator from the wilderness also displayed his might. No one knew what kind of powerful mystic art he used. On the surface of his body, a golden sacred armor formed from energy appeared. The golden sacred armor's defensive power was shocking. Therefore, when the human-headed winged evil god spiders broke through the human cultivator's defense and reached him, the human-headed winged evil god spider's attacks were unable to break through his defense. At this moment, the human cultivator from the wilderness swept out with his fist. Bam, bam, bam. The human-headed winged evil god spiders were sent flying. The human cultivator from the wilderness had a strong physical body, and his divine fist was invincible. He could smash a human-headed winged evil god spider to death with one punch. Although the human-headed winged evil god spiders were strong, Lin Feng and the other three's cultivation was too strong. The densely packed human-headed winged evil god spiders were killed by Lin Feng and the other three. Screech! At this moment, a furious roar sounded from the mountain of bones below. Crash! The skeletons quickly separated. A gigantic human-headed dual-winged evil god spider appeared before Lin Feng's group of four. When they saw the gigantic human-headed dual-winged evil god spider, Lin Feng's group could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. That gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider was over 1,000 meters tall. It was incomparably ugly, ferocious, and terrifying. They had never seen such a huge spider before. This giant human-headed twin-winged evil god spider was different from other human-headed twin-winged evil god spiders. The other human-headed twin-winged evil god spiders only had one head. And this enormous human-headed double-winged evil god spider actually had 9 heads. Each of these 9 heads was uglier and more ferocious than the last. Lowly creatures, you dare to kill my people? You all deserve to die! The giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider let out a furious roar. Then, it raised its incomparably huge claws and stabbed towards Lin Feng's group. The claws of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider were incomparably sharp, and they flickered with a cold light. Slash! Lin Feng used the regal sword manipulation art, and controlled the 4 great swords to slash at the claws of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider. Clang, 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 a series of clashing sounds rang out. The 4 great swords slashed at the claws of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider, but they only produced a few sparks. They were unable to cause any damage to the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider. The gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider was too powerful. It was so powerful that it made people pale with fright. Swish! A cold light flashed. The sharp claws of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider were like a sharp spear, stabbing towards Lin Feng's chest. If the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider pierced through his body, he would die without a doubt. Lin Feng's reaction was fast enough. He dodged to the left. He dodged the attack of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider's claws. While attacking Lin Feng, the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider was also attacking the heretic sovereign saint, the woman in black, and the human cultivators of the wilderness. The heretic sovereign saint's sharp corpse claws viciously clawed at the gigantic claws of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider, but they weren't able to break through the defense of the claws. Instead, the heretic sovereign saint was sent flying by the sharp claws of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider. Then the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider's other claw viciously stabbed into the heretic sovereign saint's chest. Clang! A huge sound rang out. The heretic sovereign saint's body slammed heavily into the stone wall. The sharp claws of the huge human-headed dual-winged evil god spider were still stabbing into the chest of the evil dominator Holy, trying to penetrate his chest. But the heretic sovereign saint's body was strong enough and didn't let the spider succeed. On the other side, the woman in black and the human cultivators of the wilderness didn't fight the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider head-on. They just barely dodged the claws of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider. Then they quickly flew towards the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider's head. The woman in black flew towards the 9 ugly heads on the abdomen of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider. The human cultivators of the wilderness flew towards the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider's ugly head. Seeing the two of them fly towards the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider's head, Lin Feng's expression changed. Clearly, the woman in black and the human cultivators of the wilderness wanted to attack the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider's head to kill it. Because the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider didn't have any weak points. Only the 9 ugly human heads growing from its head and abdomen might be the weakness of the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider. But, in Lin Feng's eyes, these savage beasts seemed to have weak points. They often hid even more terrifying dangers and killing intent. Shwa shwa! As soon as Lin Feng's voice fell, suddenly, a terrifying scene appeared. First, the human cultivators of the wilderness were attacked. 2 terrifying beams of light shot out from the 2 eyes on the hideous spider head. The 2 beams of light were simply too fast. The human cultivators of the wilderness didn't have time to dodge. Pooh! The 2 beams of light directly broke through the human cultivator's golden armor and pierced through his body. Wah! At the same time, the 9 ugly heads let out a sound like a baby crying. Ah! The woman in black seemed to have been struck by lightning. She suddenly grabbed her head and screamed in pain. Her body fell down uncontrollably. Shwa shwa! 2 cold beams of light flashed. The gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider raised its claws and pierced towards the woman in black and the human cultivators of the wilderness. At this moment, the 2 were unable to dodge. The 2 were about to be killed by the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider. Lin Feng hurriedly used the great binding art. Countless threads wrapped around the 2 of them. He pulled with force. The 2 were instantly pulled back by Lin Feng. The gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider's attack hit empty air. Are you okay? Lin Feng asked in a low voice. I'm not dead yet. The human cultivators of the wilderness grinned. This person was a tough guy. Even with 2 bloody holes in his body, he didn't even frown. I'm fine too, the woman in black said, but her face was still a bit pale. Lowly creatures, you are all my food. You all deserve to die. The gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider couldn't help but roar loudly. It raised its sharp claws and once again stabbed towards Lin Feng's group. Chapter 21-20. Holy shit! Dodge! Lin Feng shouted when he saw the sharp claws stabbing at them again. Swoosh! 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 The 3 of them quickly spread out, dodging the attacks of the giant human-headed twin-winged evil god spider. It's useless. In this place, I am the ruler. No one can escape from me. The giant human-headed twin-winged evil god spider laughed savagely. It did not stop and continued attacking Lin Feng's group. Stop! Lin Feng suddenly shouted. The giant human-headed twin-winged evil god spider did not stop. It sneered and said, I won't give you the time to say your last words. Lin Feng said, I want to negotiate. Let's negotiate. What do you think? Negotiate? The giant human-headed twin-winged evil god spider looked at Lin Feng in confusion. Then it sneered and said, You are a dying man. What qualifications do you have to negotiate with me? How laughable! Lin Feng said. Whether I have the qualifications to negotiate or not, we can decide after we've talked. The giant human-headed twin-winged evil god spider sneered and said, What do you want to talk about? Seeing that the giant human-headed twin-winged evil god spider seemed to want to negotiate, Lin Feng and the others sighed in relief. It was fine as long as it had this intention. Lin Feng said, With your powerful cultivation, you won't be willing to stay in this dark place forever, right? We'll help you escape, and you'll let us live. How about it? That's a pretty good suggestion. How should we implement it? Let's hear it. the giant human-headed twin-winged evil god spider said. Lin Feng was about to speak. Suddenly, he felt that something was amiss. Dodge! Lin Feng immediately dashed to the back. The black-robed woman and the human cultivator had been very focused all this time. When they heard Lin Feng's warning, they quickly retreated. Swoosh! 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 3 thick tails emerged from the mountain of bones. These tails looked like those of a scorpion. The 3 tails were originally aimed at Lin Feng, the woman in black, and the human cultivator in the wilderness. Fortunately, Lin Feng discovered something wrong in time. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Keek keek! A sinister laugh came from the mountain of bones below. Then, a huge scorpion more than 100 meters long drilled out. The gigantic scorpion stood on the head of the gigantic human-headed double-winged evil god spider, and its pair of cold eyes stared at Lin Feng. Just now, the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider had pretended to negotiate with Lin Feng to distract Lin Feng and the others. Then, the giant scorpion suddenly attacked them, catching them off guard. His methods were truly sinister. The giant scorpion said, "Brat, you're quite sharp. You actually discovered my attack in advance. 3-tailed devil scorpion." Lin Feng frowned. The 3-tailed demon scorpion was also a race that had disappeared from the outside world. The 3-tailed demon scorpion was incomparably venomous, and its combat strength was terrifying. After seeing the 3-tailed demon scorpion appear, Lin Feng felt that the situation was developing in an even worse direction. A single giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider was already hard enough to deal with. And now there was this terrifying 3-tailed demon scorpion. Naturally, it would be hard to deal with them. On the other side, the heretical divinity saint finally broke free from the claws of the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider. The heretical divinity saint shouted, "Master, there's a tunnel in the depths. We can enter it, but these 2 fellows won't be able to." Hearing the heretical divinity saint's words, the eyes of Lin Feng and the others lit up. They looked towards the depths. In the darkness, they could vaguely make out a cave. The cave was roughly 2 meters in diameter. The giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider and the 3-tailed demon scorpion were indeed unable to enter. They had been busy fighting the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider. That was why they hadn't seen the cave. Of course, it wasn't too late to find out now. "Let's go!" Lin Feng shouted in a low voice, leading the charge towards the cave. Following closely behind, the heretical divinity saint, the black-robed woman and the human cultivators of the wilderness all charged towards the cave. "Kill them!" The giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider let out a sinister roar. It and the 3-tailed demon scorpion simultaneously attacked Lin Feng and the others. Lin Feng and the others really wanted to enter the cave to break free from the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider and the 3-tailed demon scorpion. But they were being held back. The attacks of the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider and the 3-tailed demon scorpion were simply too powerful. It wasn't easy to break free from them. The giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider unleashed its might. One after another, huge claws pierced towards Lin Feng and the others. At the same time, the eyes of the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider were constantly shooting out terrifying beams of light. Those beams of light were extremely powerful. Thus, while Lin Feng and the others were dodging the sharp claws of the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider, they also had to dodge the terrifying beams of light shooting out of the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider's eyes. Even worse, the 3-tailed demon scorpion's 3 huge tails were wildly stabbing in the air. Puff! Suddenly, a ripping sound rang out. One of the 3-tailed demon scorpion's tails pierced through the human cultivator's left arm. A terrifying scene appeared. The human cultivator's left arm immediately began to rot, emitting an intense stench. The 3-tailed demon scorpion's poison was simply too terrifying. The human cultivator was extremely decisive. He directly chopped off his left arm. But the poison still entered his body. His body began to turn black. He was on the verge of collapse. It seemed as though he was about to be poisoned to death. Lin Feng quickly flew over, grabbing the human cultivator's body. Then he quickly retreated, dodging the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider's sharp claws. Lin Feng didn't dare to hesitate. He hurriedly took out the white jade toad. The white jade toad sucked out all the poison from the human cultivator's body. Only then was the human cultivator able to preserve his life. But his aura was weak and listless. The human cultivator revealed a grateful expression. "Brother, you've saved my life again. I'll remember this. If I can make it out alive, I won't even frown if you ask me to climb a mountain of swords or plunge me into a sea of flames." Lin Feng said. "We're allies. Of course we have to help each other. Rest well." The human cultivator nodded. "Kik, none of you will be able to escape. You'll all die here." The giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider cackled. "I love the taste of souls. Later, I'll eat your souls." The three-tailed demon scorpion cackled. The heretic sovereign sage, the black-robed woman, and the human cultivator all had grave expressions. The situation in front of them made them despair. At that moment, Lin Feng took a step forwards. His facial expression gradually became ice-cold. He walked step by step towards the three-tailed demon scorpion and the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider. "Brat, are you here to die?" The three-tailed demon scorpion cackled, its three tails stabbing towards Lin Feng. "Die." The giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider cackled, its sharp claws stabbing towards Lin Feng. Boom! At that moment, Lin Feng's body emitted a terrifying aura. The aura of a supremacy emanated from his body. It suppressed the three-tailed demon scorpion and the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider. How is this possible? It's the aura of a supremacy. The three-tailed demon scorpion and the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider cried out in terror. Under Lin Feng's aura of a supremacy, their bodies couldn't move at all. Lin Feng rushed forward and used his palm as a blade, directly killing the giant human-headed double-winged evil god spider and the scorpion. Chapter 21-21. The Supreme Purple Aura. The heretic sovereign holy, the woman in black, and the human cultivators all looked at Lin Feng with their mouths agape. Everyone's face was filled with deep shock. The aura could be described as rare in the world. As for the supreme aura, it was something that only appeared in legends. But at that moment, Lin Feng released the supreme qi. Everybody was astonished, and their faces paled in astonishment. Lin Feng quickly withdrew the supreme purple aura. His body swayed, and he almost fell. With his current cultivation level, using the supreme purple aura would result in a strong backlash. His body would enter a weakened state for at least 3 days. That was why Lin Feng was in such a weakened state. When the heretic sovereign holy saw that Lin Feng's situation was not right, he quickly flew to Lin Feng's side and supported Lin Feng. "Master, are you all right?" The heretic sovereign holy asked worriedly. Lin Feng said, "I'm fine. I'll just enter a weakened state for a few days. We can't stay here for long. Let's go!" With that, he waved his right hand, and a devouring force came from his mountain river ring. He put away the corpses of the three-tailed demon scorpion and the human-headed twin-winged demon spider. The heretic sovereign holy helped Lin Feng into the depths of the cave. The woman in black and the human cultivators followed closely behind. The 4 of them entered the cave and sat down cross-legged to adjust their bodies. After a series of fierce battles, everyone had exhausted themselves. The human cultivator in the wilderness, in particular, had lost an arm. His injuries were more serious. He needed to recuperate. Lin Feng summoned his celestial clones so that everyone could rest at ease. 2 hours later, the 4 of them woke up one after another. Lin Feng put away his celestial clone and cupped his fists. "I'm Lin Feng, the leader of the dragon sect in the ancient desolate sea region. This is my guard, the heretic sovereign holy. May I know your names?" My name is Gu Shansher, said the human cultivator. They're from the Chilean mountain tribe. The woman in black said, I am Lu Qingqing, a member of the Heaven Assassin Organization. Lin Feng was slightly shocked. He had heard Lu Huaxian mention this Heaven Assassin Organization before. Back then, Underworld was just a branch of Heaven. However, the higher-ups of Underworld betrayed Heaven and poisoned more than 10 of Heaven's top figures to death. Then, before Heaven's headquarters received any news, they organized a gathering. During the gathering, they poisoned a large number of Heaven's middle and high-level cultivators to death. From then on, Heaven declined and Underworld rose to prominence. For many years after that, the 9 Underworlds had been besieging Heavenly Hall's cultivators all this time, so Heavenly Hall's cultivators could only conceal their identities. A long time had passed, but the cultivators of Heaven didn't forget the unforgettable hatred. Back then, Heaven had shown signs of recovery in the Sky Martial continent. Other than being the saintess of the Myriad Flower Building, Lu Huaxian had another identity. She was a descendant of one of the higher-ups of the Heavenly Hall who had been killed. In the end, Lin Feng had destroyed the 9 netherworlds and helped the Heavenly Clan. Lin Feng asked, Miss Lu, did you come from the Sky Martial continent? Lu Qingqing was slightly surprised, but she nodded and said, How did Lin Gongzi know? Lin Feng smiled and said, I have a close female friend. She's the descendant of one of the Heaven Assassin Organization's higher-ups who was poisoned by Underworld. That's why I know some things about Heaven and Underworld. I see. The woman in black nodded. Lu Qingqing then said, 8,000 years ago, I narrowly escaped death and came to the 9 prefectures. After that, I was trapped in the evil dragon devil prison for 3,000 years. I don't know what the situation is like in the Sky Martial continent. Lin Feng felt some admiration for Lu Qingqing. After being trapped in the evil dragon devil prison for 3,000 years, who knew how much torture she had endured? To be able to live through all kinds of torture until now, Lu Qingqing's willpower was very strong. Lin Feng said, I don't know much about Heaven's situation, but I've already destroyed Underworld. Ah? You've destroyed Underworld? Lu Qingqing was taken aback. Apparently, she did not think of this matter. This news was very important to her. Naturally, this was a piece of great news. Underworld's assassin organization provoked me many times back then, so I found an opportunity to destroy all their bases. Lin Feng said. Qiu Qingqing said, Thank you for helping Heaven get rid of this enemy. However, did you find the Assassin's Scepter? The Assassin's Scepter? What's that? Lin Feng couldn't help but ask. Lu Qingqing said, The Assassin's Scepter is Underworld's sacred artifact. It's a top-notch Imperial armament. That's a great treasure. But I didn't see the Assassin's Scepter at that time. If Underworld had such a top-notch Imperial armament, it wouldn't have been so easy for me to destroy it. If you didn't find the Assassin's Scepter, it would be troublesome. Lu Qingqing frowned. Are you saying that an expert from Underworld took away the Assassin's Scepter? Lin Feng couldn't help but frown. 8,000 years ago, an immortal treasure was born. It flew from 9 prefectures to the Tianwu continent. Countless people fought over it, but no one was able to obtain it. In the end, the immortal treasure flew back to 9 prefectures. At that time, many experts followed the immortal treasure. They went through many dangerous places like the Endless Sea to reach 9 prefectures. That's how I came to 9 prefectures. I'm guessing that a top-notch expert from Underworld took the Assassin's Scepter and came to 9 prefectures 8,000 years ago. If those people know that you've destroyed Underworld and they find out about you, it'll be quite troublesome. Lu Qingqing said worriedly. Lin Feng said, I'm afraid that they won't come. If they don't come, how am I supposed to obtain their Imperial armament? Lu Qingqing was stunned. Then, she smiled bitterly. Lin Feng's methods were brilliant. The remaining members of Underworld had come. There was a high chance that they had come to throw their lives away. Huff, huff, huff. At that moment, a chilly wind blew from the depths of the cave. Lin Feng and the other 3 couldn't help but shiver. This cave doesn't seem simple. Could there be some terrifying existence inside? Lu Qingqing frowned. Kik, little girl, you've guessed correctly. There is indeed a terrifying existence inside this cave. Suddenly, a burst of sinister laughter came from the cave. When they heard that voice, Lin Feng and the other three's expressions changed. They stood up and rushed outside. Why are you in such a hurry to leave? That sinister voice sounded. A terrifying suction force surged out and enveloped Lin Feng and the other three. Their bodies flew uncontrollably toward the depths of the cave. Chapter 21-22. F***CK, we're in trouble now. Lin Feng wanted to cry, but no tears came out. He wondered how powerful the mysterious expert in the depths of the cave was. He wouldn't kill them now, would he? Senior, let's talk nicely. Don't be rash. Impulsiveness is the devil, Lin Feng shouted. Kik. The mysterious expert cackled. A powerful devouring force pulled Lin Feng and the others into the cave again. The heretic sovereign sage, Lu Qingqing, and Du Shansher's bodies were restrained. They couldn't move at all. Kid, come in. Let's talk, the mysterious expert said. Lin Feng smiled bitterly. He couldn't run even if he wanted to now. Moreover, he was in a weakened state. It was difficult for him to even walk like a normal person, not to mention fighting with others. Therefore, Lin Feng couldn't resist at all. He walked deeper into the cave. The cave was deep. After walking for a long time, Lin Feng finally saw the belly of a mountain. He entered the belly of the mountain. There was an old man chained in the belly of the mountain. 36 chains pierced through the old man's body, locking him in place. It was unknown how the old man managed to survive with so many chains piercing through his body. Especially the chain on his chest, it was simply too frightening. It was unknown how many years had passed, but blood was still flowing out of it. It was really creepy. Senior, how should I address you? Lin Feng asked. The old man didn't answer Lin Feng's question. Instead, he looked at Lin Feng. When he saw the red dust thread on Lin Feng's wrist, the old man was stunned. He couldn't help but ponder. Lin Feng didn't know about the red dust thread on his wrist. Therefore, he saw the old man staring at him. He couldn't help but feel a little scared. Could it be that he was an old man? Fortunately, the old man retracted his gaze in time. He laughed strangely and said, Kid! Not bad! You actually know the aura of a supreme being. This old man's methods were extraordinary. It was normal for him to sense it when he used the supreme purple aura just now. Lin Feng laughed dryly and said, Accidental awakening! I was just lucky. Among the ancient bloodlines, those who can awaken the supreme aura are as rare as phoenix feathers and qilin horns. Therefore, it is not a fluke awakening, but because your luck is monstrous, the old man said indifferently. Lin Feng's heart involuntarily stirred. This old man actually talked about luck as well. In the eyes of ordinary cultivators, luck was filled with a sense of mystery and did not seem to be very important. However, in the eyes of the top experts, luck was even more important than talent. Lin Feng saw that the old man didn't seem to have any intention of attacking him. If he had made a move, he would have died long ago. It was impossible for him to have survived until now. Lin Feng asked, Is there anything this junior can do to help senior? You seem to have cultivated the 8-9 arcane art? Senior, you know about the 8-9 arcane art too? Lin Feng was shocked. The 8-9 arcane art was something Lord Tortoise had comprehended from the ancient stone tablet of the Black Tortoise Hunchback. Therefore, the old man's knowledge of the 8-9 arcane art had shocked Lin Feng greatly. Of course, there was one more thing. This old man was too amazing. He hadn't even activated the 8-9 arcane art, but the old man had already noticed that he cultivated it. Your 8-9 mysteries is not complete. It seems that someone has improved it. But it's not bad. It's just passable. The old man narrowed his eyes. Lin Feng said, The 8-9 arcane art seems to have very serious side effects. Senior, do you have a way to deal with them? the old man said. A heaven-defying technique like the 8-9 arcane art would naturally have side effects. There's nothing strange about that. How did the person who taught you the 8-9 arcane art explain it? The 8-9 arcane art is divided into 5 levels. After mastering the first level, you have 10 years to cultivate the second level. If you can't reach the second level in 10 years, you'll die a miserable death. After mastering the second level, you have 20 years to cultivate the third level. If you can't reach the third level in 20 years, you'll still die. After mastering the third level, you have 30 years to cultivate the fourth level. If you can't reach the fourth level in 30 years, you'll still die. After mastering the fourth level, you have 40 years to cultivate the fifth level. If you can't reach the fifth level in 40 years, you'll still die. If you can cultivate it to the fifth level, you will be able to increase your combat strength by 33 times. However, this increase in combat strength will instantly deprive you of your lifespan. When the cultivation method ends, you will only have 3 years of lifespan left. If your lifespan is less than 10 million years, you will immediately die when your combat strength is increased by 33 times. Lin Feng smiled wryly. This 8-9 arcane art was simply an incomparably fraudulent cultivation method, said the old man. You're basically right, but the 8-9 arcane art is very complicated. It's not that simple. If the 8-9 arcane art can only increase your fighting prowess by 33 times and you'll only have 3 years left after using it, don't you think it's too weak? What do you mean, master? Lin Feng's eyelids twitched violently. The 8-9 mysteries you practice is incomplete. Although the flaws have been reduced after it was improved, it still lacks some maturity. Therefore, you can only display the power of the 8-9 mysteries when you practice to the 5th level. Moreover, you may only be able to use it once in your life, said the old man indifferently. What's so special about the 8-9 arcane art? Asked Lin Feng. The 8-9 arcane art can increase your fighting prowess by 5 times. The first level can increase your fighting prowess by 2 times. The second level can increase your fighting prowess by 4 times. The third level can increase your fighting prowess by 8 times. The fourth level can increase your fighting prowess by 16 times, said the old man. Lin Feng asked. Does the 5 levels correspond to the 5 levels of the 8-9 arcane art? Said the old man. That's right. It corresponds to the 5 levels, said Lin Feng. But I can't display the corresponding increase in fighting prowess. That's because to display the corresponding increase in fighting prowess, you need a certain support method, and you don't have one, said the old man. Support method? What kind of support method? Lin Feng was puzzled. You need to practice a kind of domineering aura, which is closely related to the ultimate yin and yang cultivation method. Only when you run it together with the ultimate yin and yang cultivation method can you increase your combat strength by 33 times. Although the person who taught you the ultimate yin and yang cultivation method improved the ultimate yin and yang cultivation method so that you can increase your combat strength by 33 times without using your domineering aura at the 5th level, that was his limit. He couldn't further improve the ultimate yin and yang cultivation method. Therefore, the first 4 levels of the ultimate yin and yang cultivation method can increase your combat strength by 2 times, 4 times, 8 times, and 16 times. You only know how to run the ultimate yin and yang cultivation method, but you can't display the increased combat strength of each level. Chapter 21-23. Time flies. In the blink of an eye, more than a year has passed since I started reading the book. The scenes of when I first uploaded the chapters still replayed in my mind, as if it happened yesterday. I've written a few books before, and the results were good or bad. Because it was on a small platform, it felt like a pool of stagnant water. Thus, I had the idea to go out and work hard. Knowing that Yuan is a big platform, I handed the manuscript to my current editor, Sheng Xia, with a nervous heart. Following that, I waited anxiously. Old Manta thought, will the editor not like this manuscript? Later, Sheng Xia sent me a message saying that it was well written. Old Manta was overjoyed. Then I signed the contract just like that. Many things have happened in between, and the book's results have gradually improved. I would like to thank editor Xingxia for recognizing my worth. I would also like to thank editor Tai Shan for taking care of me. For the second time, I hope to have good results through all channels. Brothers and sisters, I know that many fans of this book have read it from pirated websites. Old Mantu knew that many people might not be rich. Reading books is also an expense. But if you are rich, you can fork out 12 yuan every month to subscribe to the original version. 12 yuan for a meal. This is the money that Old Mantu needs to feed his family. Brothers and sisters who read pirated websites can download one, read it on QQ, log in with your QQ or WeChat number, search for the Archean Dragonesque Elephant spell and add it to your bookshelf. Or you can directly open QQ. On the far right, there's the word dynamic, followed by a column of status bars. One of the status bars has the word read written on it. Everyone, click on it and search for the Archean Dragonesque Elephant spell and add it to your bookshelf. Today, because it's on all channels, there are only 2 updates today. Tomorrow, there will be 20 chapters. I hope that everyone will support Old Mantu and support the original version. Old Mantu thanks you. Chapter 21-24. Cultivating the aura? What kind of aura is this? This aura is compatible with the 8 and 9 arcane art? Lin Feng asked. That's right. This aura is compatible with the 8 and 9 arcane art. This aura is called epical aura, the old man said. Epical aura? That's a strange name. Why is it called epical aura? Is there a reason? Lin Feng asked curiously. It's a secret, the old man said. Lin Feng muttered inwardly. It's just a name. Can it be considered a secret? Do you want to learn this aura? The old man asked. Lin Feng's eyes lit up. Senior, are you willing to tell me the cultivation method of this aura? Of course. You cultivate the 8 and 9 arcane art, so this aura is fated with you. Moreover, this aura can only be cultivated by someone who cultivates the 8 and 9 arcane art. Anyone else who cultivates it is courting death, the old man said. Thank you, Senior. Lin Feng hurriedly thanked the old man. A moment later, information flowed into Lin Feng's mind. It was the cultivation method of epical aura. Lin Feng sensed it. He frowned. The cultivation method of epical aura was very different from what he knew. Lin Feng said, I heard that to cultivate the aura, one needs to cultivate at least 9 forces. Then, one has to fuse the 9 forces together to transform into the aura. Why isn't that the cultivation method of epical aura? It's indeed a method to condense aura, but it's also the most troublesome method. As time passes, the method of condensing aura gradually disappears. Therefore, there are only 2 methods that have been passed down in the world. The first is to fuse the 9 forces together and condense the aura. The second is through bloodline inheritance. However, that doesn't mean there are no other methods to condense aura. If some lost methods are discovered, one can naturally condense aura. The old man explained. I see. Lin Feng nodded. Reverse the meridians and reverse the flow of magic power. Half is yin, half is yang. Lin Feng began to recite the cultivation method for epic hegemony. This domineering aura needed to be channeled together with the 8-9 mysteries. Ordinary people would not be able to cultivate it. First of all, the basic requirement to cultivate this chi was to have a primary primordial spirit. At the very least, he had to have a secondary primordial spirit. Only in this way would he be able to multitask. However, even if he had a primary and secondary primordial spirit, he would only meet the basic requirements to cultivate epical haki. The basic condition meant that one was just barely qualified to cultivate. Therefore, if he wanted to succeed in his cultivation, the journey of 1,000 miles was only the first step. There was still a long way to go. Epical haki was even more so. The epical haki would merge with the 8-9 mysteries in Lin Feng's body to form a yin and a yang. There was a saying in the world of cultivators. Yin and yang circulate, The great Tao never stops. It meant that after the yin and yang cycle was formed in the body, the cultivator would be able to continuously comprehend various grand Taos. But how could the cycle of yin and yang be so easy? The prerequisite for the cycle of yin and yang was that yin and yang were in perfect harmony. And this degree of compatibility. The control of two different types of energy had to be perfect. The energy of the yin pole would increase or decrease by a sliver. In that case, when it interacted with the yang pole, due to the uneven energy, it would cause yin and yang to repel. Once the yin and yang repel each other, the problem would be very serious. If it was light, he would go berserk. If it was serious, he would explode and die. The 8-9 mysteries that Lin Feng cultivated was domineering and strange. If he cultivated epical hockey, it would be fine if it went smoothly. If it did not go smoothly, yin and yang would repel each other. With the strangeness of the 8-9 mysteries and the dominance of epical hockey, he would definitely self-destruct. Lin Feng would probably die without a burial place. The incantation was not very long. It was only a few hundred words. After Lin Feng finished reciting the incantation, the old man said, "How is it? How do you feel about this epical hockey?" Lin Feng said, "If I can cultivate it successfully, it will naturally be a happy ending." The old man smiled and said, "You still don't know much about epical hockey. Epical hockey has the most important ability that I haven't told you yet." "Oh? What ability?" Lin Feng asked. "Epical hockey. It's a hockey that can evolve," the old man said. "What? Epical hockey can evolve? Hockey can evolve?" Lin Feng's face was full of disbelief. He had originally thought that hockey was a form that had been determined. 9 types of hockey. 9 colors. It was impossible to evolve. He had never heard that hockey could evolve. The old man said, "In the heavens, only epical hockey can evolve. Other hockey can't evolve." Upon hearing the old man's words, Lin Feng could not help but be shocked. He had not expected epical hockey to be so special. Lin Feng could not help but ask, "What's the difference between epical hockey and other hockey? Why can epical hockey evolve but not other hockey?" The old man narrowed his eyes and said, "This is also one of the secrets of epical hockey. However, this is a heavenly secret. With your ability and cultivation, knowing this heavenly secret will only bring you harm and no benefits." Since the old man had already said so much, Lin Feng naturally did not continue asking. He could not help but have a thought. He asked, "What's the initial level of epical hockey?" Hockey was divided into transparent hockey, which meant that it could not be seen but could be sensed. This was the most basic level of hockey. Following that, there was white hockey, red hockey, orange hockey, yellow hockey, green hockey, cyan hockey, and blue hockey. There was also the supreme purple hockey. Different hockey had different powers. High-level hockey could usually restrain low-level hockey. Therefore, there was a suppressive relationship between the different hockey. Once the supreme purple hockey was released, any other hockey would be suppressed, and it would be difficult to display the power of the hockey. Lin Feng had mastered the supreme hockey, so he knew how terrifying it was. As for the other hockey, he did not particularly understand it. After all, he rarely saw anyone use hockey. The old man said, "The initial color of epical hockey is transparent hockey. This is the easiest color to control. If you can cultivate epical hockey, you need to completely master it before you can consider evolving it. Moreover, any hockey is incomparably terrifying. Even if it's just transparent hockey, it's not easy to control it." Lin Feng asked, "How can I evolve hockey?"